I am After Ebenwing, and we are jumping back into Not For Broadcasts. And this is, as I said before, one of the best FMV games I've ever played. We've been here before. Y'all know what's happening. What happened last time? Well, we didn't have a good time with an electrical storm, unfortunately. And after that, we apparently touched a button on the control console that was electrified. At the very end of the level, we were kind of forced to do it, and our heart stopped. And we passed out at the console. And so we don't really know what's happened to Alex since then. He just, or our Alex just sort of passed out. And now we're entering into episode 1.5. This is Lockdown. Something very special about this episode tonight. They actually shot it all during the pandemic, at the height of the pandemic. So you're going to notice that the theming is going to be very COVID-19. However, they also avoided any of the COVID-19 references. They went for their own thing. It was a thing that made sense for them. And I cannot wait to see it because it's hilarious. But we're going to go through episode 1.5 tonight so we can get to episode 2, which is the new content they just released. So very excited. Let's continue. What happened? What has happened to our poor producer, Alex? The Backstreet Boys reunion tour. That's how I feel right now. That's honestly how I feel right now. How you doing tonight, Korg? I've been living in a paradise since you made advances on me. That was low. That was some low shit. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous for Alex's health. You know, we were going so good. You got Chipotle dinner. Crap, we got Torchy's Tacos dinner, so we did something very, very similar. Also, if this room looks a little shitty, we're actually changing things around. I'm gonna have a nicer streaming setup soon, so that's why it looks a little weird. Oh, I guess we're okay. Hey, we're here. No signal. Okay, well.
Postman again. Just heard from the chaps in maintenance that this storm is causing the odd power surge. Some of your controls might be a bit, dangerous. Now, I know you're tough and you can take the odd shock for the sake of a perfect news broadcast, but too many in quick succession can stop the old ticker. I'm sure you'll make the right...
I think we've gone back a little bit here. Let me just double check here. Yeah, we've gone back to the last segment, so we gotta change this up. Kind of modified this a little bit. Load game.
And I'm Jeremy Dawes.
Ebenwing? Here we are. Why are we on Tempest segment 3? Ooh, looks like we went back one segment. I guess we have to play it out. So we're gonna have to replay the rain segment. Oh well. Oh well. Well, if you missed it last time, now you're gonna get to see our heart stop. I like how, there we go. Day 153, segment 3. So we are playing the advance ad, as we were told to do. Looks like our videos are still set up, and it looks like the board's power is still on. So, Bozeman, call me.
Postman again.
Thank you.
Just heard from the chaps in maintenance that this storm is causing the odd power surge. Some of your controls might be a bit, dangerous. Now, I know you're tough and you can take the odd shock for the sake of a perfect news broadcast, but too many in quick succession can stop the old ticker. I'm sure you'll make the right decisions.
So sorry about Whoops Buckets.
Yeah, and this isn't just bullshit. If we do hit too many of the electrified buttons at the same time, it will lose the level, so...
Triple signature.
We'll look into it. That's so good to see you again.
We'll start on camera 2.
Your star seems to be in the ascendant.
It's a great time to be alive.
Too bloody right, Peter Clement.
Megan Wolf.
There's our prime and sub-prime ministers.
Tougher than she looks. Am I here?
Here, with Mr. Clement on your left.
Right you are, pet.
Make sure the sound's okay for y'all. Everyone can hear Mr. Clement.
10 seconds, everybody.
No, mine's fine. Have you had a little accident?
5, 4, Welcome back. I am delighted to be joined by Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement. Welcome to the National Nightly News, Prime Ministers.
Oh, please, it's just Julia and Peter.
We don't believe much in titles. It doesn't seem very advanced.
We're delighted to be here.
Well, firstly, I should ask how you feel about the graffiti that's been springing up across the capital. Should we be worried?
Oh, no, you definitely shouldn't be worried.
Well, not unless you've got a fatal paint allergy anyway.
But yes, it does seem that there are still some people we haven't been able to help.
You know, whingers mostly.
People who've yet to benefit from the many advantages of the new future.
And you know, Megan, as my old mum used to say, there are some pissouts
say
who
we
just
should get it
don't
ring.
know how
There
to
we go.
be happy.
We're working
think we let
hard
that
to
out.
reach these people, find out what they're angry about and how we can help. The door to my government is always
did.
open.
Someone's tripping on me.
But we didn't come here to talk about what may yet turn out to be some alternative arts project.
Which we no doubt will have funded.
When we want to talk to the nation about something far more exciting.
Yes, your office briefed us that you have an announcement to make, but they were being surprisingly secretive about it.
Let me ask you a question, Megan.
Oh, okay, it's not usually how it works, but...
What scares you? I mean, really scares you?
It's death, Pet. She's talking about death.
We're all afraid of our deaths. It's part of being human.
All right, we're still on. We're
Are
still
you
on.
saying that advance have cured death?
That'll be a vote winner. Yep, that was definitely a drop there.
But while we may not have cured death, we hope we found a way to make it much less scary.
And much less painful and much less expensive. Look, which is me close-up camera,
Oh,
Pet?
sorry, it's camera full like that.
When I was 13, my mum came and got me from school. He was to go to the hospital. My granddad, he collapsed that morning. So we'd all to say our
Got the reaction shot in.
goodbyes. And I went in to see him. He were all frail and pale. I was scared because I'd only seen him the week before, and he'd been fit as fiddle. And he said to me, Peter, he said,
Can I go back
"It's
to
the
4 for
right
now?
time. I don't want to be a burden to the people I
I want to keep the combo on that.
Was that the last time you saw him?
Nope, 3 days later he were back home.
Ow.
He lived with us for 9 miserable years after
A
that.
little bit too much there.
He had to be fed with a rubber spoon. He had a commode, so he'd just take a shit right there in the lounge while we were watching football. He
Oh,
wouldn't
that
even
was
wait
hard.
till half time. He wouldn't even wait.
That sounds...
It was awful. Awful for us. And this is the point. It were awful for him. He could see it was destroying me, man, watching him slowly fade away. And he would beg her to turn off his breathing equipment at night, but she couldn't. Or she wouldn't. It were a crime, you see. She didn't want to lose the children, as well as her old man.
No family should
Don't
have
kill
to
your
suffer like
family
we just
members.
did.
You might lose your
And
children.
now no family will have to. The health service is today opening the first of 300 new transition centres.
The transition centres will handle everything for your last days. The legal, financial, medical and emotional costs are all catered for
We're doing really
and
good
paid
on
for by the government.
ratings.
So even the poorest citizen gets to pass on with dignity when they choose.
What?
And that choice is important.
I guess I sat on the.
This is a service only
sat
for
on the shop
people
too
who
long.
choose it. For people who feel they run their course and don't want to burden themselves or their families with a slow, long, humiliating decline.
This microphone pack has just given me electric shock.
Are you okay?
I don't know, I think it from my asshole.
We're still on the air, Peter.
Yes, sorry,
Got it.
my apologies. Oh,
Are you not worried that this new system might be open to abuse?
In what way?
sorry, I've got sacked again. Can I get a little bit of help here, please?
That the older generation might feel somewhat...
Jesus, a raw shell face, fucker! Massive! Right, no, this bastard's coming off!
That the
Ow.
older generation might feel somewhat coerced.
Coerced into spending their final days eating gourmet food and drinking fine wine and luxury spas and gardens.
Look, I am perfectly capable of my grandmother with a rutting twat like
Prime Minister, please watch your language.
Got it. Oh god.
For fuck's sake!
Get
Can't
yourself
help that.
sorted out.
Right.
We're launching a government information film tonight. It should tell your viewers everything they need to know.
You really do move at a breathless pace. It's hard to believe you've yet to be in office a year.
Oh, Megan, we're only getting started.
Ew.
And on that note, thank you both so much for being here. Jeremy.
Right, yes, that's all we have time for tonight. Thank yous go out to our guests. Congratulations to all the winners at the Sports Board Final. And we'll see you tomorrow night at the same time. My name's Jeremy Donaldson. If you can, have a peaceful night.
There we go. Alright, and we're up.
everybody.
And Alex is down.
So they
Producer down.
Same.
I don't suppose there's any way this could be a good thing.
It's my nephew, so we transitioned the moment I start the leak.
B. No, I still got a B though. Full wages. No longer in crippling debt. Hey, we're broke ass poor again. And of course, our share on EOB rose as we play the EOB ad. The resistance is down and advance is unfortunately up. Mostly because we probably didn't show enough footage of advance getting shocked. So we could have actually controlled that maybe a bit more. But people still love Channel 1. That's what matters, right? Alright, so what happened? B for boom goes the thunder. Stonks. Stonks. Stonks have been crazy today, right? Or crypto was crazy today. The Doge was up. There's even like a guy on Twitch now named the Stocks Guy, and he doesn't stream games. He streams stocks. And he actually had a guy who literally screws over scammers, Kit Boga, who I watch a lot actually. I love Kit Boga, but he just basically sits on Twitch all day and sits on the phone with scammers for like 4 hours and wastes their time. It's hilarious. Uh-oh.
Alex, oh thank God you're alive. It's Jenny, the floor manager. Are you okay? Alex, you need to get it together. Look at the broadcast screen. Just look at it. That's all we've been putting out since you went down. You have to fix it, now. Look left, Alex, out the window. See? They're all over it, little bastards. You're going to need a full charge to clear that many off. Hold down the big button until it's fully charged. Then release it to zap the little fuckers.
Alright, we gotta zap off all those little assholes.
Alex, we're broadcasting again.
Alright.
It was built up while you were napping. Usually it only takes a tap on the button to clear one. Look, there's a lone one climbing now. Zap it off before it starts to mess up the signal again. Great.
So we'll have to be
That seems
listening
be
for
the
them
last
as they
of them.
climb up the
For now.
broadcast tower.
Right. We're about a minute out. Get the adverts loaded
Alright,
up.
let's load up.
I've got to deal with my pet idiot. And Alex, keep your ears open. You'll hear them climbing up the tower. Don't
Employee
let them build
training
up.
video. We don't have... Oh, we do have EOB.
This has no credibility, Jenny.
Oh.
No professionalism. It's not a mess. Everything is where it should be. It's ramshackle and characterful, and I expect you to know the difference.
We will skip advance, as we talked about
Of course,
before.
Megan's place looked lovely, but I can't see it, can I?
Thanks, Jenny. How's lock-in with the boyfriend going?
Decided to take his chances on the wild streets, eh? Rather than endure another romantic comedy.
And
Jeremy,
everyone's
Jenny says your
stuck
hair
at
looks
home.
stupid.
Yes,
They
I can
literally
hear
set
her.
all the equipment to them
She
at
says
their
she's not
homes,
talking
and
to
they
you.
recorded at home.
Yes, I know, I can hear her.
It was crazy.
Shall I count us in?
Make it so.
Okay, 10 seconds. Break a leg, everyone.
Preferably a furry one.
5, 4, 3,
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
and I'm Megan Wolfe. Our main stories tonight.
Snugglehugs? It's been almost 5 weeks since all the Mrs. Snugglehugs toys woke up
Harder
simultaneously
intro.
in factories worldwide and began searching for their husbands. the Mr. Snugglehugs we had so short-sightedly destroyed. And now, as this photograph suggests, they may be changing tactics.
Built to surprisingly traditional gender stereotypes, the Mrs. Snugglehugs have been arming themselves with a variety of household implements. All the more reason to make sure that cat
Rolling
is
pin
taped up,
or
good and tight.
an eye with a spike through
This
it.
frightening new development means that even those previously thought to be relatively safe, like the young and fit, must take care to watch their backs and keep their ears open for the soft steps of sinister feet.
Going stir crazy, with no signs of Mrs. Snugglehugs' batteries running out, and the government lockdown now in its 31st day, domestic relationships across the country are taking some unexpected turns.
Dramatic reports are beginning to emerge of uncharacteristically bold behaviour in homes across the country. And we're not talking about the model planes that occupy so much time in the Donaldson household.
What the fuck
In
is
response to the
happening right now?
nationwide lack of toilet paper, which was of course raided by the Mrs. Snugglehugs to construct their vast hives, many of the nation's adults have turned to a more childish solution, or at least
Assholes.
that's their excuse.
Locked and loaded, Shin Calligraphy Johnny Hamsleeves seems to be taking his own unique approach to being locked in.
Since checking into rehab, not much has been heard from the former role model, but this latest photo leaked by another resident today seems to confirm
Let's
that
just,
all
again,
might
we're
have
just
been
ruining
well
everyone's lives,
and
right? We're still going with that?
Poor old Johnny seems to be back to his old ways, taking what looks like to me the electrifying mixture of zap, crackle, fizz and buzz, or as I call it, Thursday.
The shape of things to come. In their own version of a
All of them in
lockdown for
flames?
more than
We got it.
45 years now,
Thanks, chat.
The descendants of doctors David Wong and Ingrid Svorsborg
Oh my God, they're still
and their
alive.
unfortunate team today managed to get a personal statement to the surface using flagellized imaging equipment.
Many of the Svorsborg and Horgans brood, as they've come to be known, have certainly captured the public imagination, with a recent vote naming Helvetica Svorsborg and Wongensford the most likely to survive a massive electric shock.
This is Dawn Svolsborg and Wongensford of the new Roman army. The enemy have a new weapon. Small, furry. It skitters on the walls of the caves at night, whispers things none of us can understand.
Like how they can't get out, but they're broadcasting.
It's hard to believe they've been down there so long now.
But everyone knows time moves differently underwater, Jeremy. That's why baths take so long.
That's right. And as anyone will tell you, the deeper the bath,
The quicker the relativistic forces of temporal causality will have a measurable effect upon the fixed dimensional parameters of your environment.
yes, I've said that many times.
Yeah, so have I.
Papers, please. With the lockdown becoming ever more rigorously enforced, having a passport is becoming increasingly important, Alex.
The government caused controversy today by announcing a fresh charge of passport fraud with an imaginative form of punishment for those found guilty of this brand new but incredibly serious
I'm glad they
crime.
had to get the papers, please
The
reference
international
it.
community have been critical of
Good
Advance's
job.
decision to begin branding those found to be abetting passport fraudsters. The red hot metal may seem painful, but I'm told it's actually preferable to most music currently in the charts.
Ow.
And Advance speaks out. With the snuggle struggle proving a test to governments
This is a
around the
long
world,
intro.
Advance HQ released a curious statement this afternoon.
In the accompanying release, they asked us to stress that they have been
Peter
listening,
Clement.
and that this
Peter
should be
Clement.
taken as a response
We are
to
100% going to listen to Peter Clement.
We've certainly done our bit on this show to contribute to the political climate. But let's not forget, how we behave in our home lives is what really matters.
Let's hope it's not just me who filled out that questionnaire, Jeremy, or we're all in trouble.
Let's play that statement.
Good evening. One of the many new jobs I have in this current crisis is to liaise on a daily basis with the Department of Perambulation, and they have made me aware of these. Now, these are genuine requests from citizens for permission to go outside. Now, I would like to share a few of these with you tonight under the loose heading of what the fuck is wrong with you people? How difficult is this to grasp? I'd like to start with James from Angerhampton, who says he needs to go out because there's a duck in the park that I like to try and feed on a Friday. I call him Mr. Quackington, and I think we're really starting to bond. No, James, they make their hives in parks. And then Katie, from self-righteous on sea, wants to go out so she can deliver homemade meals to the elderly. No, Katie, stay at home. Your casserole's dire, and Shirley can get by with tins of creamed rice from the 1950s. And you...
It's so funny to watch them just shoot off.
Bamblebury, those screams you heard in the alley last night behind your house are best left to the police. Now, I want to make this as clear as I can.
Yeet.
Think first, stop sending me stupid, sodding requests, and stay inside. Pretend it's not happening until we tell you it's all over.
This is like the infinite fucking
Thank
intro.
you.
Ridiculous stuff.
Later tonight, Jeremy will be probing heartthrob reporter Patrick Bannon, while I take a deep dive into
Sophia Remington's gonna be on.
Two familiar faces.
And then, in our third segment, and presumably because our editor is also working from home, there's going to be a bloody quiz.
I can't wait.
Don't do that.
And in a moment, Jeremy Grumpelson and I will be asking controversial CEO Sophia Remington where it all went wrong.
And psychic scientist Dr. Delia Lywell will be joining us, presumably to provide a bit of false hope.
Maybe she'll tell you how you're going to die, Jeremy.
Too late. I'm certain it happened months ago.
That's all coming up on tonight's
National Nightly News.
What? 5. I don't know who we're opening on. This is creepy.
First tonight, how do we get here?
There we
Where
go.
are we going? And most importantly,
Jeremy.
who's to blame?
Joining us from her villa on the island of San Palmerino is CEO and socialite Sophia Remington.
Thank you for having me, Megan. I am loving your hairdo.
Oh man, Sophia's screwed up because of what we did.
Crystal heating laboratory in what I assume is a garage in Lower Uppington. Doctor, it says here, Delia Lywell.
Thank you for inviting us on your show.
Us?
Don't. Miss Remington, your toys are rampaging across the developed world, your company is worth less than my annual salary, and your country's president recently called you a national disgrace. Have you taken your eye off the ball?
Oh, honey, you're so cute when you're angry. The thing with you folks over there is you have an island mentality. You can't see the bigger picture.
So, what is the bigger picture?
The bigger picture is lithium batteries. Our toys have been running for upwards of 71 days now with no signs of them slowing down whatsoever. Imagine what that means for the future.
It means we don't know when the hell this lockdown's going to end, doesn't it? You don't seriously believe Remington's fist can survive this?
Lithium batteries are gonna change everything, tiny ogre. They're gonna power our new transport system, make technology portable. Hell, they might even take us to space.
But how can you make them with everyone at home?
Oh, don't you worry about that. Thanks to the work of thousands of tiny hands, they're already pouring off the production line.
What?
Times are good for Remington's fist.
But surely you have no future.
Excuse me, hello, yes, if we might. This is our area of expertise.
What, multinational economics?
The future, Mr. Donaldson, to which we are all connected.
Yeah, okay, I'll buy it. Why not? There's clearly nothing better to do. So, what is your scientific process tell you about the future of Sophia Remington, Doctor?
We see her on a balcony. Foreign soil, but not foreign land. An age will pass.
Fascinating.
Wasn't it just?
Delia, you are amazing. We have to fly you out here to the island to do that for my guests. They're gonna love you.
Unfortunately, all flights are grounded because of your tiny, deadly stowaways.
Not all flights, honey. Dee, call me. And you,
What?
Maggie. The more the merrier. Bring your swimwear.
Miss Remington, you seem completely ignorant to the seriousness of the situation. Do you take any responsibility at all for the global crisis?
Careful! It's a trap.
It's not a trap. Why are you helping her?
She seems fun.
You bet your ass I'm fun.
Please answer my question, Miss Remington.
Listen, are lithium batteries the most
This one's hard
incredible
because you have to,
invention
like,
the world has
you
ever
can't
seen?
jump to every person talking because it would move too fast.
But
if you don't
who am I kidding? It
center on the person
definitely
talking,
is.
that's
But
not
will
good.
they last forever? One day, all the Mrs. Snugglehugs will just stop. It'll be like a miracle. And then we can all go back to the grand tradition of
I know
buying
that.
products
They'll
together.
all stop.
'Cause I really don't mind telling you this. It is really hitting our bodies. Except for sponges. We seem to be selling an assload of them.
Dr. Lywell, do you have an indication of when or how this might end?
Well, it's not an exact science.
Not even a real one.
But our senses tell us there will come a day when there will be clouds in the sky, the grass will be rich and verdant, and the birds will sing at dawn, and that shall be the day when we walk forth again.
Okay, we got the reaction.
I find that strangely comforting.
That could literally be any day.
Well, let's hope it's soon.
Clouds, grass, and birds. That's literally every day.
Let's hope it's not too soon. I'm kind of hoping we can make it to the 100 days. It sounds good on a commercial. Besides, if it lives now, the children will have to go back to working normal hours.
Well, let us ask the eminent professors for 100 then.
No, let's not, eh?
I'll drink to that. Stay strong and party on.
Sophia Remington, Dr. Delia Lywell, thank you for joining us.
When we come back, we'll be reaching out around the country to see what's really happening out there.
Don't go away. We'll be back after these sandwiches.
I'll see the Hindenburg-sized fuck-up.
I mean, she's fun at a social level.
I wouldn't want to be on her board.
Christ, no. She's going to drive that company
She
into
tap in
the
and
fucking
recharges the
ground.
batteries. Ooh, that's a bad idea. B. Alright, well, we got out, so. 32. 100.
Hello, mate. It's Dave. You're not going to believe this, but I've decided to come home.
No, you haven't.
Listen, I'll call you back at the next break and we can talk about how I get me job back. Cheers, Alex. See you, mate.
No, Dave, you're not getting your fucking job back. It's been a year.
She liked to cook for the homeless. Unfortunately, she wasn't a very good cook. She would chase them
What? Uh-oh, Alex James is here.
Exactly, you said it, I've said it. He must know, he's not stupid. I just don't want it getting back to him that it came from us. Hey, no, Jenny. You're not backing out on me now.
Bye.
We're in this together. Get him. I've made the cake, you're on the balloons. I've got no idea how old he is. 40? 17?
Who's
Yeah,
talking?
ready. Okay, coming back.
Oh, it's Megan.
In 5, 4, 3... Welcome back to the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Roof. Now it's time to take a trip around the country to hear how the lockdown might impact the nation from some friendly faces. Joining me are respected academic Katie Brightman and author of Alan James's Kites, Alan James. Thank you for joining me.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me, Megan.
Thanks, Megan. It really is a pleasure, Katie. I enjoyed our little heated encounter.
I wish I could say the same.
So first off, Katie, how are you coping?
I'm holding up okay. The lockdown directive was so sudden that, like many people, I haven't been able to get home.
Oh no, what happened?
I was staying at a hotel after an international policy convention, and we had a particularly heavy night out. You know what economists are like.
Notoriously hate splitting the bill.
And I overslept, and as you can imagine, I've been here ever since. But there are certainly people much worse off than me.
Exactly. My tour has been cancelled indefinitely, and I've had to...
Alan James is on your torso shirt. I need it.
Oh, Alan, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah. People are being quite rude about it. They don't seem to realise I've already spent it filling the beach house with beef.
The crisis claims yet another victim.
So, this is just a reminder that my book, Alan James's Reich, is now available in paperback.
Unbelievable.
What was that?
You're unbelievable.
So, Katie, how do you think this might affect the economy? Should we be worried?
Very, Megan. Not to sound dramatic, but this could be catastrophic. Unemployment has skyrocketed, and frankly, it will be a miracle if a lot of businesses can survive this.
There you go, scaremongering again, spreading this latest liberal hoax. That's what they want. They want us quiet. Shh. They want us compliant. And they want us inside.
A hoax? How on earth can you say that, Alan?
Well, I haven't actually seen one of these supposed toys. Have you?
Well, no, but...
Did you know 3,000 people die every year from regular toys? That's a lot of people. And this is no different. You're just as likely to be hunted down by a yo-yo or a tennis racket.
He makes an excellent and persuasive point, Katie.
Don't listen to her, Katie. The press are the enemy of truth.
She's agreeing with you, Alan, you absolute shit.
Well, then I must be wrong.
Alan, are you now recanting your statement?
Oh god, I hate those transitions with censors.
Aren't dangerous.
People are saying they're just like normal toys.
Got through it,
and
though.
that simply isn't true. Corrupt media lies.
And Katie, how do you respond to Alan's claims that Mrs. Snugglehugs might be dangerous after all?
I suppose I guess I'm agreeing with him.
Thank you, Katie. I appreciate your support. A lot of folks are saying this Mrs. Snugglehugs situation will all blow over, but it
Jeremy
won't.
has a sandwich.
Yes, right, exactly. We need decisive action from the government. We need huge financial support to protect our workers and our businesses. We need to support the vulnerable, and we need
to repent. Exactly right. We brought it on ourselves with all our liberal indulgences like art, cake, and healthcare. We need to act now and begin sacrificing our firstborns, or at a push, at a loving family.
I got most of them.
Absolutely, Alan. If we can all successfully come together as a community and perform the ritual, hopefully we will appease the great ancient. Katie, could it be any worse?
Luckily, over the past few years under Advance, they've invested heavily into health, so the system can actually bear the strain.
Is it lucky that the Llama Lords have unleashed a horde of man-made monsters on its own people to conceal the enemy within?
Will you just stop for 5 fucking seconds?
The Global Alliance of Fish People are amassing amassing an army to kidnap
That's you. That's what you sound like.
But I don't sound like that.
Yes, you do.
You do, Alan. You do sound like that.
And that's why no one wants to be your friend.
I've got loads of friends.
No, you haven't.
I don't think you do, Alan.
Yeah, stop lying, Alan.
I'm not lying. You are.
Oh, good one.
Well, I'm telling you.
Jeremy's just eating this
And
sandwich.
James, Katie Brightman, thank
What
you for joining
hell?
me. Some real food for thought there from two of the territory's leading minds. Any moment now, I'll be heading over to Jeremy, who is going to be bringing us an up-to-the-minute report of the status of the nation. Over to you, Jeremy.
Thank you for what I'm sure was a reasonable debate, which really contributed to the national conversation. Next, out on the streets, someone who's always doing exactly
Excellent.
that. It's Patrick Bannon. Are you there, Patrick?
Hello, Jeremy. Yes, hello, I'm here. I'm here live. Apologies for the quality of the broadcast today. Couldn't find any cameramen or women brave
Oh my god, he's shooting on a cell phone with the backdrop.
And can you tell us what it's like out there?
Yep, I can. It's as you can see behind me, the streets are currently completely deserted. So my question, Jeremy, is just how long? I mean, could there be danger lurking just around the corner, waiting to end the fledgling career of this young, promising journalist before his full potential is even realised? Will he die, underappreciated by management, and frankly, if you ask me, very, very much underpaid?
I would agree.
I don't think there's any danger of that, Patrick. What's that on your jacket there?
Well, that's actually a sponge. What I've done here is made a snuggle-proof jacket, Jeremy. The network didn't bother sending me any PPE, so I've been forced to improvise. In fact, showing the sort of resourcefulness that would make me an
Guess we
ideal
found out why the
candidate for,
sponges
I
are
don't know,
selling.
For example, an anchor position starting whenever they'd like.
From your point of view, Patrick, just how safe are our streets?
Not safe at all, Jeremy. Not safe at all. I'd recommend people staying inside, following government advice, and not putting themselves at any risk at all. Unless, of course, like me, it's for groundbreaking journalism reasons.
Mm-hmm. And just where are you, Patrick?
I'm in the street, on the street.
Which street?
I think I'm struggling to hear you actually, Jeremy. There.
Which street? Which street are you on?
Oh, which street am I on? Oh god. I'm just looking for a sign. There it is. I'm on Bannon Avenue.
Bannon Avenue.
Yep.
Bannon Avenue.
Yeah, no, I can hear you fine. Yep, I'm on Bannon Avenue on the sign. It says there.
Like Patrick Bannon.
Oh yeah, that is like, that's strange. That's a weird sign. I don't know what's going on there.
Where are you really?
I'm on Bannon. Alright, fine. I'm not on Bannon Avenue. I'm at home, to be honest. Alright, fine. Well, I'm in my bathroom technically, but you know, I couldn't face it, to be honest, mate. It's you know, it's terrible out there. I don't want to go outside. They're everywhere. I'm sorry for lying.
We don't expect any less of you, Patrick.
Can you hear that sound? What was that?
I can, yes. I'm no expert, Patrick, but it sounds unmistakably like a tiny fist tapping on your door there.
Oh, fuck, it does. Oh, fuck, Jeremy, shit, no! Oh, bollocks.
Perhaps there's a small queue of tiny fists, each wielding a different gendered household implement, ready to bash in the heads of lying little roving reporters.
But you're lying, aren't you? Oh, shit. Okay, fucking listen to me, you bastards. If you're out there, just piss off, you little fucking snuggle fuck. I'm too talented to die. I'm too talented. What the fucking hell? Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Oh, God.
Don't worry, Patrick. I'd say you've got a few seconds before they break their way in there and finish you off. What do you see, Patrick?
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Patrick, for that report, showing the nation, and more importantly, management, just where you belong. It's time for another break, but when we come back, we'll be hoping to take your mind off the world for a little while, and who knows, maybe even bring you a few times. Join us after this. Damn right. Yeah, I had them delivered. Yes, to Bannon Avenue.
Jeremy's a dick. Oh no.
They've got on board. Captain's down. Worse, chef's down and we're out of rum. Not sure I'm going to make it to sobriety or dry land. If I had a missus, I'd ask you to tell her that I love her, but to be honest, I've kind of pissed my life away, mate. Still, at least I'm outdoors, eh?
Possibly more so. We need to come together, every single one of us, and do the right thing.
No, I'm not. I'm
Fuck.
not going to.
Little
I
dick.
don't have to. No, you're being a child. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. No? No. Oh, 5,
Screw
4,
you.
3. Welcome back to the National Nightly. Well, welcome back anyway. We know isolation isn't easy, so finally tonight, we have something a bit different for you. Even though some people felt it's not our job to entertain the public
God,
with
14
absolute
minutes.
nonsense, other, more important people overruled those people. So it's time to find out who will National Nightly win. And who will National Nightly lose.
The quiz.
Fuck off, Jenny. There's one thing to do this to me, there's not to do fucking puns. So, how do we play? Well, joining me as a man who knows all about playing, it's Tommy Harris. Hello, Tommy.
All right, Johnny. It's good to see ya.
And how are you finding the lockdown, Tommy?
What do you mean lockdown?
The enforced isolation of everyone in the country.
Ah, yeah. I think I heard about that, actually. Yeah.
You're in bed, Tommy.
Yeah, you called during nap time, so
Of course, that's my fault. So, why don't you tell us how the game is played?
Well, it's pretty simple, Jeremy, you sausage. I'm going to ask contestants from around the
This is
territory
awful.
3 questions.
Five Nights at
about what
Brexit
else
right now. Yeah.
was true. And those people are going to get a chance to win a very special prize.
And what are they playing for, Tommy?
Drum roll, please. Jeremy.
Nope.
Thank you. This.
Eat crap.
Is that... What is that?
It's my athletic support, Jeremy.
Oh.
But I've signed it, so...
Oh, well then, what a fantastic prize.
Have we got anybody waiting to win this once-in-a-lifetime prize, Jimmy?
I believe we have Angie on the line. How do you feel about winning this man's old pants, Angie?
I've never been so excited, Jeremy. And can I just say, I love you. Both of you.
Well, you've said it now, haven't you?
Oh, Angie, I love you.
I mean, he did pretty good in sports ball.
Tell us about yourself, Angie.
What can I say? My name is Angie. Always has been. I'm a human woman. And
Ooh, a
my
human
dental
woman.
hygiene has been described as acceptable.
Brilliant! Right, well, shall we get this shambles underway?
Absolutely, John. Can I get 30 seconds on the clock, please?
We haven't got a clock.
Yeah, I did ask for a clock. So,
Well, why don't you start, and I'll stop you when it inevitably becomes unbearable to watch.
I love it. All right, here we go. Time starts. No, now. Question 1. When is my birthday?
The 13th of August at 7:19 a.m.
That is absolutely correct. Question
What?
2. What? I said, what is my favourite colour?
Crushed praline 4.
Correct. The colour of my nipples. And finally,
What?
Angie dear, what is my star sign?
That's a trick question. You were born outside of the human understanding of the cosmos.
Unbelievable. That is correct. Stop the clock.
Wow, that really was tough to watch. How did you do, Tommy?
Well, Angie, my love, you got every single question right. Which of course means you lose and win absolutely nothing. Thanks for playing, Angie. Bye. Do we have another contestant on the line at Jelly Bean?
We do
Jerry
indeed.
Bean.
We should have Sonia Artleach. Are you there, Sonia?
Of course I am, Jamie, darling.
Thank you for being here, Sonia.
Oh, there you are, Tommy. Mwah.
Let me guess, you work in theatre, don't you?
Is it that obvious? What gave it away? Was it the glamour or poise?
It certainly wasn't your inherent sense of humility.
Tell us about yourself, Sonia.
Oh, well, if you must play this game. I am a theatrical agent. I represent the likes of Rudy Beefman, Samuel Coffeecup, and Jodie Carpetburn, amongst others.
And how's the lockdown affected you, Sonia?
Well, they may have closed the theatres, shut the studios, and boarded the cinemas, but they won't get me that easily.
How are you managing without any work?
Due to a savvy clause in all of my artist contracts, I am able
Okay,
to
got it.
claim my 15%
Still doing good on
from
this.
their unemployment benefit.
Wow, that certainly is sharp.
Standard stuff, standard stuff.
And can I ask, where are you speaking to us from?
Well, I work from home, you know, to keep costs down.
And who's this?
Oh, well,
Oh,
you know, when
no.
I gave the order, I was actually mid-meeting with a client, so we've been isolated together.
No fucking
It's
way.
Jeff Algebra.
Fucking fuck.
Is that Tommy Harris? I'm a huge fan. Can I just tell you how bloody brilliant you are?
Actually, Jeff, we're about to play a game, aren't we, Tommy?
We've got time,
Well, if it's not too bold, I think I am in love with you, Mr. Harris.
No, it's not too bold. That's all right, don't worry.
Hey, I'd love to show you some of my stuff. I've been working on some new shit.
Well, at least you're already aware.
During lockdown, we've been workshopping some of Jeff's ideas for much younger children, haven't we?
Oh God, no.
People still let you near their children, do they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I've been developing some shows for younger children.
Well, we'd love to see it, wouldn't we, Gerbil?
absolutely dying.
Can they consume you if you don't flick them off? I believe they can. I believe they can screw me up.
Love.
Timely child support payments from their absent fathers.
Shallow and overproduced musical numbers?
That's right. Animals! So, I'm trying to address the things that kids need to know, but through a medium that they'll understand. Do you understand?
I think... yes. I think so, yes.
Jeff's one of my best clients, aren't you?
I am. Yeah. So, the first one we've been working on is called The King of the Jungle's Mortgage Repayments. It's about a lion who's having problems with his interest rates.
I see. Does he have a broker?
He does. Yes. He's a porcupine.
Oh my
How
goodness.
did you know that?
Well, your work is universal, darling. It speaks to people.
I'm going to say something to you, mate. I think you're onto something here.
Ooh, the bear,
Oh,
the
yes, right. This one is much better. So, this one tells the tale of Mr. Bear. Now, Mr. Bear is a very sad bear, because all of the other bears don't think that he'll amount to much, and they tell him that his plays are lazy and derivative.
I think you're onto something there.
Now, Mr. Bear is a tragic figure. Picture this. He's at his lowest ebb. The trees are closing in. He can't even face his salmon, can he? But then he meets someone that will change his life.
I'm like literally like
forever.
looking around and like flicking the cameras without even looking at them right now because I have to.
That's right. He meets a wise, old...
Like my mind is like at
octopus
7 places
who
at
takes him
once.
under his wing
I'm
and
glad they haven't
says,
thrown in any
"Hello,
interference.
Mr. Bear. Don't be sad. You're not like all the other bears. You have this ambition and these dreams.
Such fucking dreams.
I think I love you, Jeff.
And what you need.
Ooh.
She's turned off the trip switch, Alex.
Oh no.
Need to do to find
Oh, you little dicks, that's what they do.
Crazy old forest is you need to set yourself more realistic goals. It's called Mr. Bear Lowers His Expectations.
Okay, so it looks like they just screw up the board.
You really have taken yourself to new depths.
Do not
What do
touch
you
my
want
trip
children
switch.
to take away from this?
Oh, fuck shit.
What?
I said a more realistic worldview.
Are you alright, Jamboree?
It's Geoffrey. My name is Geoffrey Donington.
No, it's not.
How does it end? We need to know how it ends.
Well, all the animals learn a thing or two about inevitable mediocrity.
And Mr. Bear settles down near to his parents' cave, stops trying to make his band happen, and he goes into bear telemarketing.
Becomes a bear maths teacher.
Oh, and we
Maths.
We end on a big musical number.
Oh, no.
Oh, there's dancing. It's very repetitive, so it's catchy but not too challenging. Well,
Don't
if
even
you
touch
like,
my feeds.
I could go and get my boombox.
Yeah, you know, I might be able to... Hang on. Can we get Angie back?
Why not? The more the merrier, as they say at orgies.
Oh god, is this a musical number?
Right, I'll just fill then, shall I? Coming up in a moment, it's the world premiere that nobody saw coming.
Lights!
Or wanted. At all. I can only apologise in advance for what we're all about to... endure.
How do you turn the fucking thing on, though? Well, there's all sorts of creatures.
No.
Down on Dangly Doodle Farm. Mr. Octopus, with way too many arms.
Had to get that in there.
There's Mr. Pig and Mr. Cow. They're always in good moods. But that's cause they don't know they'll soon be sliced
Oh
up
no.
into food.
It is a musical number.
Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's where your hopes go to turn into despair. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's where your dreams go to die. Mr. Raccoon wants to go to the moon. He'll end up as a bus driver soon. Mr. Porcupine thinks he'll read the news at 9. He'll end up as a janitor who stinks of turpentine.
Damn it.
Mr. Ape got sent down for rape. Didn't work out he was innocent till he was 88. Mr. Bird flew south, superstardom on his path. Ended up on the end of a belt with an orange in his mouth. Oh, Mr. Bear Bear.
What?
What's that over there? That's the place your mommy pushed your daddy down the stairs.
What?
Mr. Bear, 6 months in intensive care. That's why the bitch has to die. The farmer thinks the dangly doodle creatures are asleep, but Mr.
Oops.
Like the
Wrong one.
pigs and cows and sheep, he visits every pen and sty and always brings the fun, and jerks on Mr. Quackington, who's always first to come. He fingers Mr. Badger's bum and Mrs. Donkey's
What is
ring.
happening?
Then he fronts with Mr. Chicken till they both are quite done in. Then he runs around the farmyard trying to shove it where it fits, and ends the night by broughting over Mrs. Badger's tits. There's never a dull moment down on Dangly Doodle Farm, kids. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's the sound of maggots growing underneath your hair. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That is your friends in a pie. Yum, yum. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's a giant spider
Not kidding
in the
now.
shoe you want to wear. Mr. Bear, what's that
Not
over
getting any
there?
things for that.
That is the end that is nigh. That's where your friends go to lie. That's how you'll scream when you die.
Well, I'm sure we'll all still be singing that tomorrow morning.
Okay, Megan.
That's it from us for tonight. Many thanks to all our guests. I look forward to seeing them all again. Eventually. But before we go, Alex, I wondered if I might have a word. You see, I've had my eye on you, friend, and I've got to say I'm not liking what I'm seeing.
That's creepy.
You keep letting me down, chum.
What?
Playing it safe. Making the dull, boring choices, failing to assert yourself. No one likes a pushover, Alex. You know that. And frankly, chum, you're acting like a bit of a wimp.
Alex, will you give away your passport so my super rich sibling can abandon us all? Sure. Here it is.
Pathetic. Can I have the money we need for food so I can go around the continent on a jolly?
Sure, Susie.
We can always eat your grandma when we run out of food. Wouldn't it have felt better to take charge? Aren't you tempted to just lay down the law?
Ooh.
You know what's hot, Alex? Other than me, obviously. Confidence. Power.
No, I don't have to
control.
change
We're
any
all
camera
drawn to
angles.
it like rats to the piper.
Screw you.
Don't you care where your son goes at night?
Yes.
You will when you find out. Look, far be it from me to try and lead you down the dark pathway, although sort of is my whole raison d'etre. But imagine, just for a moment, that none of this was real. It was just some stupid game where you could just do it all over again if it all went wrong. Imagine if Sam and Charlie and Susie were just characters. Wow. Think of all the fun you could have. Just being bad, you know. For the hell of it. My name's Megan Wolf. Have an evil night. Ugh. Jen, I'm just gonna go smoker. Okay, can you get Bozeman on the phone? Babe, I don't care if this is a dream, a bad trip, or a shock-induced coma. I did not sign up to be dressed like a slag, doshing out wristies for a 20. Right, I'm a professional news anchor, not a fucking bogan. It's bad enough that he makes me do that unconvincing accent the whole time. I mean, look at this. My skirt's so short you can see my juice.
Alex, wake up! Why don't you wake up?
Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Coming to Broadway, this, who even fucking knows? Love, labors, hugs, and a sinister subconscious. A+. Advance, nothing. The Resistance, nothing. Channel 1, nothing, because it wasn't real. Alright, episode 2, please. Uncomfortable feelings. Oh, the rhythmic beeping of the heart monitors brings you slowly back into consciousness. Opening your eyes, you're greeted by a semicircle of concerned faces. Your family by your side, a reassuringly familiar sight in these new surroundings. You blink a few times to clear the sleep from your eyes and bring everyone into focus. You feel a hand on yours, but reassuring. Sam, there with you always. Their expression, understandably concerned, is somehow more affectionate than ever. We knew you'd be okay. Never doubted it for a second. And if I ever see that Bozeman. You squeeze the hand back and attempt to wink. The worry lines on Sam's forehead fade a bit. Lord knows you've both got enough to be anxious about without your health being thrown into the mix. With a vile smile at them, you turn to the rest of your family. Just as you feel Susie's absence, you notice Charlie fidgeting, clearly trying not to look worried. As soon as you turn to look at him, you can see Charlie tense up, his concern clear on his face. So you're definitely good, right? He finally asks, quickly looking away. Of course I am, buddy. There's nothing to worry about. Charlie looks at you and grins, one of those infectious smiles that spreads around the room. It's always good to have him in your corner. Your smile fades as you notice your mother staring listlessly out the window. What the hell was that for a second? Thought I saw something weird for a second. Ooh. Despite all your best efforts, she's not been doing well lately. Are you okay, Mum? Your mother starts, your call clearly shocking her out of the reverie. She turns to you and smiles, and you're grateful to see the increasingly rare recognition in her eyes. Yes, dear, of course. How are you feeling? You smile warmly and nod, but before you can respond, a doctor bustles in and ushers everyone out. She asks you for what feels like the 100th time how you're feeling. Oh, well, surprisingly well, all things considered. Ah, excellent. There's no sign of any real damage, just a shock to the old system, pardon the pun. Not that we'd recommend you do anything like that again, of course. After a couple days of rest at home, you should feel right as rain. She turns to leave, but stops at the door. Oh, and private room and care? The doctor gestures to your room, which you now notice looks rather expensive. Has all been paid for by Mr. Bozeman. He left us flowers and said not to worry and to take the rest of the week off. He'll see you Monday, apparently. Seems the least he could do. That guy. Bozeman. Bozeman here. I guess we took a nice week off. A burden to bear. Come home from a particularly late shift to find the kitchen light still on, which normally isn't a good sign. Everyone's usually in bed by now. It's a lot of shit piling up. Softly opening the kitchen door, you find Sam sat at the table. Bills and papers are strewn in front of them, as well as what looks to be their second pack of biscuits. They shoot you a strange smile as you take a seat next to them. Sam frowns and goes back to the bill they're holding. Hey, sweetheart. Just looking at the numbers again. They look to the door to the pantry, now converted into your mother's bedroom. We've been doing our best, but I think Cassandra really needs a nurse to look after her now. Suddenly the bills are all you can see. I've been staring at the numbers all night. Tears in their eyes, Sam takes your hand. There's just no way we can afford it. I'm so sorry. The kitchen table swims before you. Sam stands up and pulls you into a firm embrace, but all you can think about is your mother and how you can't afford to help her. What would your dad be thinking now? Is this the utopia Advanced promised? You stare at the door to your mother's makeshift room. Tomorrow, you'll need to tell the kids, and then book an appointment at the transition center. What else could you have done? It's like we're too poor to take care of dear old mom. That sucks. New path. You're watching TV with Sam when Charlie comes home for the evening. School finished a while ago, but he's been home late more and more recently. You both shrug and finish your episode of Me, My Dalmatians, and I blame Susie too. It's clearly all Susie's fault. If she didn't go on that effing trip, we wouldn't be so poor. Susie, how dare you? You're too damn selfish, and maybe you should go back on that line and make some more Snugglehugs, because Ellen James is not on my torso. Oh my goodness, not games! Thank you so much for hosting me. I really appreciate it. Everyone, Not Games, the creators of Not for Broadcast, thank you so much, y'all, for hosting me tonight. I really, really appreciate it. And killer game, guys, killer game. So excited to get into episode 2 and start it up tonight. Oh man, all right, I'm like jazzed. That was really nice of y'all. I really appreciate it. For anyone new here, hi, I'm Master Ebenwing. I am also a video game creator, but not anywhere y'all know. I work at a company somewhere else, far away. It hasn't been announced yet, so, but I've been working on a variety of games, but I also do online stuff as well. I write, and mostly I also just play a lot of games. So, anyway, school finished a while ago, but he's been home late more and more recently. You both shrug and finish your episode with Me, My Dalmatians, and I. Did Charlie join the resistance? Ooh. After it ends, you say goodnight to Sam. You've got an early start in the morning. At the top of the stairs, on your way to bed, you notice a new poster on Charlie's door. It's homemade, but the image is distinct. A fist, seemingly in orange spray paint on a black background. The well-known symbol of Disrupt. It seems those friends of his are an interesting bunch. Oh no, we just had to put down dear old mom. Maybe we might have to join Disrupt. Sam's out with work tonight, and Charlie's staying at a friend's. The house is yours. You order a takeaway, have a couple of drinks, and decide to relax in front of the TV. Not a great selection tonight, but surely something to watch. You feel like a laugh, comedy it is. Sam's not here, but you can still watch some horror without them. You just want to switch off. Action thriller is the one. Or, Sam isn't a fan of historical dramas, so you're just gonna make the best of them being away. I mean, it's not really a funny time right now. Kinda sad. Horror movie? We're gonna watch some horror? Let's watch horror. Chat says horror, so I am a sucker for chat. The atmosphere and story are better than you were once expecting, making you jump more than once. After a particularly shocking emergence of the lolling lumberer, you accidentally kick the coffee table, revealing a small hidden object behind one of the legs. As you bend down and reach for it, you recall the note Sam left on the fridge. Hey, sweetheart. Charlie lost Susie's present. Would you mind looking for it tonight? X. As you hold it closer, you're surprised to find the gift's actually an engraved lighter for Chippy. She claims the nickname's affectionate, but Charlie still scowls every time she says it. You're not sure Sam would approve. Ooh. The accompanying note from Susie explains, Irkstan has a long tradition of glorifying the art of starting fires. Thought you'd like it. Don't do anything stupid. Suze. Hopefully it's just a souvenir, and not a new pastime he's picked up. Or about to pick up. At least it's nice that she thought of him. I mean, who doesn't want their brother just to start fires in cities? Looks like we're going back in the studio. This is getting kind of, it's getting intense. I mean, it was always going to do that. I was just prepared for it, especially, you know, with Ye Old Papers, Please, and just the ominous sense of it. And of course, I'm glad they got the Papers, Please joke in a lot. But yeah, it was always going to go this way. So I'm interested to see how the comedy keeps up, because it's so hard to keep comedy with something so dark. And I mean, you could always do like the tragic comedy, or, you know, just weird absurdity. I'm probably sure that's what's going to happen. All right, let's get to the... Can I? Oh, right. Gotta boot the board. That would help.
What? You're fired.
What for? Facial sabotage?
Jenny? Problem? I want her fired today, now.
Don't worry, Kath, it'll be all right.
No, it won't be all right, Kath. Pack up your weapons of optical destruction and get out.
You realise you're beginning to sound like me?
I mean it, Kath.
Damn.
Stay where you are, Kath. Jenny?
This is not Jenny's decision, Jeremy, or yours.
Fine, I'll talk to both.
Oh, good. You can tell him I'll return his wife's casserole dish at our dinner next week. Jenny?
I'm sorry, Kath, you're going to have to leave.
Wow.
Letting it go to your head.
She nearly blinded me.
10 seconds,
I thought
everybody.
we're all part of a team these days.
Things are better, Jeremy, you know that. Just stop being so
Three and
high-mighty
5,
and do your job.
4,
You'll have me fired
3.
too.
Don't tempt me.
Jeez.
Good evening. I'm Megan Wolfe.
And I'm Jeremy Dawson. Our main headlines tonight.
We got 3
The
images
establishment
now.
strikes back. The World Council has agreed today to impose punitive sanctions on the people of this country.
The sanctions, which are broad-ranging, include restrictions on the supply of oil and gas, food, clothing, and even some
yeah,
medicines.
we're angry.
But how should we react? We asked the public.
What are your reaction to the sanctions?
I think it's fucking outrageous. My mom needs insulin. Am I supposed to get her transitioned? What's the government doing about it, eh?
Thanks, Patrick. Fascinating.
Popular Prime Minister Julia Salisbury has released a reassuringly brave statement in response to the World Council's controversial announcement.
This international declaration
Only getting
is
creepier.
nothing short of outrageous. We are a democratically elected government with massive popular support. We do not recognise these sanctions, and we encourage other socially progressive nations of the world to both resist and ignore them. Advance have struck fear into the heart of the international community by showing that it is possible to have radical change for the betterment of the many. And whilst I wish we could improve other countries as much as we have our own, we do not rely on the help of others to thrive. This country is entirely self-sufficient. We are a team, now more than ever. And this team is on your side. Thank you.
Okay.
Defiant stuff. But what do you, the public, think of our government's stance? Robin Short found out.
Pretty angry.
I was wondering if you could tell me what you think of the government.
What? That shower of iridescent pricks? Punishing success and rewarding laziness?
They're taking this country down the bloody Swanee.
I'm like towing the line right now.
And it's not just me that thinks so. My wife Iris, she agrees.
A whole lot of problems. Protests were held today at the controversial construction site for Remington's Fist's physics-defying MOOBS project.
Oh my god, MOOBS is going
Since
forward?
digging straight through the earth began 6 months ago. The project has been beset by problems, including localized tremors and the heat deaths of many of the workforce.
Residents of the nearby town of Calamity today converged on the construction site with sincere, if misspelled, placards, demanding a suspension of digging until safety checks can be carried
No mobs, MOOBS for all.
Of course, that's half a world away. But what does this country think? Patrick.
What's your opinion of the MOOBS project?
It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. What's to stop it, right? Dropping out the other end and just falling through.
Gravity?
Yeah.
No, it don't exist.
Okay.
A momentary lapse of reason. Commuters across the capital found themselves somewhat bemused by the latest stunt by controversial protest group Disrupt.
In a baffling start to the day, commuters
We're happy
found
about
performers
Disrupt.
outside every major station, all dressed and posed identically. Whether we're supposed to be amused or intimidated is anybody's guess, Jeremy. But most commuters didn't even stop to notice.
Well, as long as it's not some grand contemporary dance, it's probably harmless.
But how do we all feel about Disrupt and their eclectic tactics? Robin found out.
How do you feel about Disrupt?
Ah, well, now you're talking. Ruddy hero, showing us not to take it lying down like Iris here.
So you both feel they're a cause worth supporting?
Well, Iris doesn't speak online, but we're pretty sure
Oh
there's
my
still one in there.
goodness.
Wherever it is, it loves Disrupt, fighting the Yoinks for our freedom. And what could possibly be wrong with that?
Punch him.
Do you need me to get you some help?
Yes.
Injury time?
Get help.
Fierce rival doctors David Wong and Ingrid Svorsborg
Oh,
of Morgan's
no.
Ward today sent a joint statement to the surface appealing for an urgent shipment of supplies.
After breaking into two warring factions, things seem to have gone from bad to worse for the ill-fated expedition. They
I
look
don't
like
know.
they could really use some supplies, Jeremy.
Or possibly
kinda
a peace
neutral.
negotiator.
But with the pair arguably being their own worst enemies, how should we feel about sending them the resources they need to carry on? Patrick Bannon found out.
Yeah, don't worry, they're going to cut all this, aren't they? It's disgusting. Christ. Oh, Jesus, wept. Christ, have you thought about quitting smoking?
Maybe.
No, I'm fine now.
Okay.
What were we talking about?
The trapped scientists.
Oh, yeah, right.
Brilliant.
I am not a number. Applications finally opened today for the new Advanced Team membership cards, a scheme by the government to allow fast access to all the new public services being introduced daily.
The team membership cards are entirely voluntary, but will be recognised as legal identification by all major organisations, including the police, banks, and, vitally, pubs and
Oh, did I put it? No, I didn't. Shit.
And of course, there's no charge.
We're gonna put
It all
in
seems too good to be
a seated girl
Well, you've always
protest,
done-
and we're gonna
but
do.
most
Thank you for reminding me.
importantly,
A sport board.
the public
Hell
think
yeah,
about
crazy
the
nail.
team.
Oh.
Team membership
Shit.
cards?
Absolutely
The last-
bloody not. It's the thin end of the wedge, isn't it, Iris?
Damn it, it's broken.
First it's, can I see your identification, sir? And then it's, would you mind bending over the table, sir? So,
Fix
Sergeant
this.
State
Oh God, it's all
educated,
blasted from
Constable
Storm.
regional accent here.
Oh, 'cause it's the
can
button I
stick their
touched and
function
died
up
on.
their derriere.
Crikey!
They should call them what they are. They're bloody ID cards. Oh, for Christ's sake, what is it, Iris?
Oh, I'm really not happy, Algernon! I'm so sorry.
Yay.
Crikey!
And finally tonight, game of two halves. Fresh out of rehab, repentant celebrity sportsman
Oh
Johnny
my
Hamsmith
goodness.
is promising to turn over a new leaf.
In a surprisingly energetic appearance on the Whitney Chinwag show this morning,
I'm so happy
Johnny
about
showed
him.
everyone
He's doing so
certainly full
better.
of life and raring to go.
You better not try that on our sofas. I doubt they'll survive the frenzy.
But what should we think of this exuberant behaviour? Patrick?
Oh my god, fantastic!
Wise words there.
Later tonight, in a bit of a switcheroo, it'll be Jeremy in the
For
culture
what?
chair, spitting rhymes with popular rapper Jay Zus. And then we'll both be chatting with a familiar team of thespians set to take
No.
the nation by storm again.
No.
That's all coming up on tonight's
National
Nightly
Nightly
News.
We got interference for the title sequence, because why not? Chef Algebra, ladies and gentlemen, back in the house.
First tonight, thankfully, some news as we return to our main story.
The World Council today agreed that punitive and potentially illegal sanctions should be imposed upon this country.
You're?
The sanctions, which come into effect immediately,
Clement's
aim
gonna
to stop the
curse
flow
a lot.
of food, fuel, and even some medicines from reaching your pockets.
Tonight, we have guests from across the continent to discuss this unprecedented situation. For advance, Peter Clement is at his home in Lamfordshire. Are you there, Peter?
Yes, I can hear you, Jeremy. Thank you for having me.
A momentous day, Prime Minister. Are you shaken?
Oh, I don't scare that easy, I'm afraid, old son. And neither do the people of this country.
Well, joining
World's
us
greatest
is
PM mug.
Foreign Minister of Urkistan. Ivan, thank you for being here.
It's a great pleasure. You, Megan Wolf, are like strongest guard at Labour camp who wake up inside body of crazy, expensive prostitute. In my country, you will be worshipped as a god.
Okay. Minister, as one of those arguing most strongly for these sanctions, how do you feel about Advance's defiant stance?
Vance is like man who think he have big career in movies land. When actually, he in dirty sanitarium, screaming at mirror and holding tiny penis in hand.
He's clearly not from Svenland, and we have like some of the cleanest mental health facilities in the country.
Nice.
Welcome to Svenland's Minister of Mojo, Björk.
Minister
we
of
don't have to have a
Mojo.
surname.
It's just Björk, yeah. We don't use things like socially divisive surnames here, yeah.
Minister?
It's just Björk, yeah.
Right, Björk. Your country spoke in favour of Advance at the World Council today, but you were noticeably absent when it came to the actual vote.
Well, what a surprise. The hippies didn't show up for the fight.
Actually, that's quite racist, because if you must know, we were going to go to the whole like boat thing, yeah, but it's actually the Festival of Furelands here at the moment, where we honor the old generations. So like we all had to look our grandparents millennia while the boat was happening, and that's like a really, really time-consuming process, actually.
You're like sissy man. You have this expression, sissy man? It's like man with tiny penis who like to wash more than once a week.
Actually, that's quite homophobic, yeah,
Oh,
because...
stop winding him up, Ivan. We're not back at the Grange now. Sorry, Jeremy. Ivan and I used to play golf back in my media days.
Yeah, he always wins.
Nothing gives him greater pleasure than grinding people's gears. The more publicly, the better.
Peter, you're like man with tiny penis who think he have tiny penis, but actually he discovered that. Oh, could it be? No, it's tiny penis.
Ivan's just worried that when the rest of the world sees how well we're doing, they'll notice all that dosh that he's got squirreled away. Because that's what these sanctions are, Megan. They're the last pathetic gasp of an establishment in collapse. Wolves at the gates, Ivan, old mate.
Good. You can join others on my wall.
Actually, in Svenland, we have like serious animal welfare legislation. And like my friend Helga, she got arrested, yeah, for killing a butterfly that was hovering over her fuel thing. I mean, in English, jam sandwich.
I used to know a girl called Jam Sandwich. She was a right cracker too. Wonder what became of her.
We seem to be wandering a little from the news here.
Human interest, Jeremy, the real people behind the headlines and all that. So if you're watching, Jan, give us a call. Yeah, let's see if we can't organise a reunion.
Crash, I'm not sure about that. I'll have to run it past Mrs. Clement first.
That's a good idea.
Peter, you're like man trying to empty ashes of mistresses into oncoming vein.
Soon you have tiny penis.
And beard full of secrets.
In Svenland, we don't really go in for all that restricted monogamy stuff here. We're kind of flawed, actually.
Okay, well, it seems that we are running out of time.
Yes, so before we go to the break, briefly, if you would, gentlemen, with the people of this country facing shortages and
possible shortages and power outages.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Possible shortages and power outages. Can you summarise your thoughts for us, Minister Björk?
Well, from here, yeah, you all look a bit stupid really arguing about outdated devices, concepts like money. In Finland, we replaced currency with a system of bodily fluids back in the 1970s, and that's like really hard to sanction.
Thank you, Minister Fortific.
Your country is like man who think he invented perfect trap for giant mutant hairy bear. But really, he's just standing in field
holding his tiny penis, yes, thank you.
Thanks,
Minister.
Jeremy.
And finally, Prime Minister Clement.
Let me talk to your viewers here. Jeremy.
No.
Don't worry, everybody. Don't be afraid. Don't even lose a wink of sleep. We knew the rest of the world would react this way, and we're ready. As my old man used to say, you can't make a shite pie
There it
without
is.
blocking a few toilets.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Reassuring words there.
Only one curse this
We'll be
time.
back.
Pretty good
After
for
these
Peter.
messages.
1 minute back.
Hey, Peter, I over your way this weekend. You fancy a quick 9?
Yeah, sure, front or back.
That's what I hope you're asking Megan Wolf for me.
She's out of your league, mate.
You have to be more careful.
It's all part of his long-term plan to get fired live on the news at 6 in front of the nation.
Can someone warn him it's going a little too well?
This is important. New government censorship should show up in blue. Same
Oh,
as
the
regular
phone's dead.
censoring. Keep an eye out for the advanced blue waveform.
No. Whoa!
You still meant to bow.
Shame app.
Just like her.
We win
Have
your
you done with
kids.
the Crown Prince report?
What?
Megan.
This is Jeremy, and he'll be interviewing you.
Yo, thanks for having me on your show, man.
It's quite alright.
Yo, just a quick one. You're not gonna ask me about the chimp, are you?
Live in 10 seconds.
He put that get up on himself. Just saying.
Going in
Sports board, the sports board game.
4, 3.
Welcome back. I'm Megan Wolf. Later, we have an exclusive first look at a theatrical sensation everyone's going to be talking about. But first, it's time to go over to the culture spot with lovely old Jeremy Donaldson, who's joined by a very special guest. Jeremy.
Thanks, Megan. I have the honour and privilege of being joined by hip-hop royalty. He's been called the son of the streets and the father of truth. Not sure how that works, but whatever. Let's welcome Jesus!
Jesus!
Yeah, it's a real honor to be here on the show, the news. You know, as a kid on the streets, I used to watch you through a window of the shop, so to be here right now is crazy.
You've had quite the journey to be here today. Can you tell us about it?
Well, you know, I try not to, well, you know, the past is the past, and I don't like to dwell on it.
I understand.
But yeah, man, the streets is all I remember. Like, my mother donated me to a charity shop soon after I was born. Elderly lady took pity on me. You know, she let me sleep on a pile of crime fiction until I taught myself how to walk.
Wow, that's quite the childhood.
And she died, died tragically. Right there in my arms, man.
Whoa.
Right there in my arms, man. You know, I remember a tear falling as she laid there next to the used homework. And in that moment, I became a child of the streets. I was just 18.
Oh, I just missed the 10-second mark. Ah!
What a tale. What a tale. You're known for your direct and honest lyrics. Was your style informed by your troubled past?
Oh, like I said, I try not to talk about it. It's just, it's just too hard.
Of course.
But my first album is about the story of the first 4 times I stole, so I wouldn't starve. A small group of infants came to see me as their de facto leader. They call me Mr. Cheese Slice.
Nice.
Anyway, we were like a family.
So it would seem. Recently, you've been quite outspoken about the government.
Yeah, fuck the government. Fuck Advance. Fuck Peter Clement.
What is it that you object to so
Oops.
vehemently?
Well, you know, they stole from us.
Seemed to
They're
miss
taking our
every
money
blue
and spending it.
waveform there. Guess my finger slipped.
Actually, homelessness has been all but eliminated in the last couple of months.
So?
Surely that's a cause close to your heart?
Yeah, nah, of course, man, very much so. I just mean, like, why do I have to pay for it, you know? Why do I have to pay
You
for
don't.
it, you know?
People have been rehoused on property seized from the historically wealthy. And that couldn't have been you, could it?
Look, yeah, I worked hard to be here. I built this from nothing, and I deserve to be rewarded for that.
Would you say you worked harder than, say, a farmer or a care worker?
don't know. But if people are taking something from my music, choose to value it, buy it, who's to say I don't? And no one can take that away from me.
Not even to help, say, vulnerable children. Mr. Cheese Slice.
What is it you're trying to say?
I just don't understand where you've placed yourself politically. I mean, is it ideological or is it tactical?
Well, it's more of
Or
like...
maybe it's hereditary.
Stop trying to tie me in knots with your words, Jeremy. I let the music speak for itself. And the people agree with me.
Well, that remains to be seen. But you have given me a very easy segue out of a conversation that I promise you was much more painful for me than it was for you. So here he is with his hit song, Mrs. Ludlow's Tears.
Oh no, I'm going to do something a little different. It's a new single I've been working on.
Oh, so this is unapproved, is it?
Yeah, you love it.
Excellent. Don't worry, we've got a state-of-the-art censorship system. What's the worst that could happen? So here he is with a new song.
Oh
It's
no.
Jesus.
First, you're gonna pay up.
Oh no.
You're gonna pay back.
Well, we're all different races from many different places. At any given moment, only one could be the greatest. So you can feel the elation from your participation. Still two leaders in this motherfucking nation. Now we're getting sanctioned, talking about expansion. Why does Julius require a massive fucking mansion? So fuck all your schemes. I don't need your freaky team, and I don't need your help to achieve my fucking dreams. So don't make a fuss when you find you're one of us. Get every single one of you's a bit Jesus. And you can call me crazy, cause no one ever pays me. But I won't waste a lifetime being motherfucking lazy. I may be inventive, my taste may be expensive, but why would I get out of bed with no fucking incentive? Although it's contravention of your obvious intention, I like to eat a little of the fruits in my invention. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. The best of the praise of the crest of the wave, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. It's time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. So this is for the soft ones, the push and the shove ones, the folks who feel the burden of their motherfucking loved ones. Ones who had plenty like a motherfucking Bentley. The ones who now finding that their bank accounts are empty. The ones of aspiration who had to flee a nation. The ones who built a business out of dreams of perspiration. There's all sorts of people, the good and the evil. It only takes a glance to see we're not all equal. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. And the best of the praise of the crest of the waves, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Get out of your seats, get your asses in the streets, set a fire in the building, let them feel some fucking heat. Take your hate to go getters, no squilling bet betters, and burn them on the powers of advances fucking letters. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Chase that dream, you don't need a fucking team, and advances little dances aren't as harmless as it seems, cause they're stale and corrupt, then you're angry. Let your hearts and your minds and your fists to destruct.
Well, I didn't do so good on that musical number. I still can't get those.
Thank you so much for joining us in the studio. I'm sorry. I may not agree with you, but I'd just like to offer you an apology. I've just been told that there was some kind of issue upstairs, and an attempt was made to censor some of your names.
What? Are you joking?
I'd just like to say to you and everyone at home that this was a mistake.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe this. Absolutely ridiculous.
Here at the National Nightly News, we pride ourselves on remaining neutral, unbiased, and independent of any outside interference. You have my word. We will never censor ideas. Back to you, Megan.
Well, a bit of dangerous language there, sorry about that. Well, thank you to little Jeremy Donaldson for providing our culture spot. Coming up, we'll be speaking to a couple of familiar faces about their upcoming dramatic outing. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
That's the ads.
Jenny, this is fucking outrageous!
Thank you so much. If you could just come with me.
No, this is ridiculous. Who do I complain to?
This is just a mix-up, I'm sure. Now, if you come with me, I really do have to ask
Oh,
you to
trust me.
leave.
My father's going to hear about this.
I understand. This is unbelievable, Megan!
I don't know what you're talking about, Jeremy.
Ooh, D. I kind of want to retry that one.
Just a reminder, fixing that old VCR. Open a new tape. Last ad break.
Should I replay? I kind of want to. I'm just gonna replay this section because I really just don't want to censor anything. Because first you don't. Thanks for the achievement. I really appreciate that. Paradise. It's awfully nice, and don't think twice. I've been living in a paradise ever since you've made advances on me. Yeah. What I'm gonna do for this one, because I made like crappy attempts to censor some of it just to be like toe the line. I'm just gonna miss all of it this time. Sports ball! Sports board, the sports game!
This is important. New government censorship should show up in blue. Same as regular censoring. Keep an eye out for the advanced blue waveform.
It's the boys' noise! Oh!
Are you still meant to bow to foreign royalty?
What?
Should I just like curtsy?
Hang on. Have they given you the Crown Prince report?
What?
Megan?
This is Jeremy, and he'll be interviewing you.
Ooh.
Yo, thanks for having me on your show, man.
It's quite alright.
Yo, just a quick one. You're not going to ask me about the chimpanzee.
Live in 10 seconds.
He put that get up on himself.
Going in 5, 4,
Shame hat.
3.
Gotta have the shame hat.
Welcome back, I'm Megan Wolf. Later, we have an exclusive first look at a theatrical sensation everyone's going to be talking about. But first, it's time to go over to the culture spot with lovely old Jeremy Donaldson, who's joined by a very special guest. Jeremy.
Thanks, Megan. I have the honour and privilege of being joined by hip-hop royalty. He's been called the son of the streets and the father of truth. Not sure how that works, but whatever. Let's welcome Jesus!
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, it's a real honor to be here on your show, The News. You know, as a kid on the streets, I used to watch you through a window of the shop, so to be here right now is crazy.
You've had quite the journey to be here today. Can you tell us about it?
Well, you know, I try not to, well, you know, the past is the past, and I don't like to dwell on it.
I understand.
But yeah, man, the streets is all I remember. My mother donated me to a charity shop soon after I was born. Elderly lady took pity on me. You know, she let me sleep on a pile of crime fiction until I taught myself how to walk.
Wow, that's quite the childhood.
And she died tragically. Right there in my arms, man. You know, I remember a tear falling as she laid there next to the used homeware. And in that moment, I became a child of the streets. I was just 18 months old.
What a tale.
I missed that part before. 18 months old.
You're known for your direct and honest lyrics. Was your style informed by your troubled past?
Well, like I said, I try not to talk about it. It's just, it's just too hard.
Of course.
But my first album is about the story of the first 4 times I stole, so I wouldn't starve. A small group of infants came to see me as their de facto leader. They call me Mr. Cheese Slice. Anyway, we were like a family.
So it would seem. Recently, you've been quite outspoken about the government.
Yeah, fuck the government. Fuck Advance. Fuck Peter Clement.
What is it that you object to so vehemently?
Well, you know, they stole from us. They're taking our money and spending it, man.
Redistributing it. Actually, homelessness has been all but eliminated in the last couple of months.
So?
Surely that's a cause close to your heart?
Yeah. Nah, of course, man. Very much so. I just mean, like, why do I have to pay for it, you know?
You don't. People have been rehoused on property seized from the historically wealthy. And that couldn't have been you, could it?
Yeah. I worked hard to be here. I built this from nothing, and I deserve to be rewarded for that.
Would you say you worked harder than, say, a farmer or a care worker?
I don't know. But if people are taking something from my music, choose to value it, buy it, who's to say I don't? And no one can take that away from me.
Not even to help, say, vulnerable children? Mr. Cheese Slice.
What is it you're trying to say?
I just don't understand where you've placed yourself politically. I mean, is it ideological or is it tactical?
Well, it's more of
Or
like...
maybe it's hereditary.
Stop trying to tie me in knots for your words, Jeremy. I let the music speak for itself. And the people agree with me.
Well, that remains to be seen. But you have given me a very easy segue out of a conversation that I promise you was much more painful for me than it was for you. So here he is with his hit song, Mrs. Ludlow's Tears.
Oh no, I'm going to do something a little different. It's a new single I've been working on.
Oh, so this is unapproved, is it?
Yeah. You love it.
Excellent. Don't worry, we've got a state-of-the-art censorship system. What's the worst that could happen? So here he is with a new song. Aren't we lucky? It's Jesus.
Yeah. Let's do it.
You're gonna pay up. You're gonna pay back.
Alright, let's see if we can get this time.
Well, we're all different races from many different places. At any given moment, only one could be the greatest. So you can feel elation from your participation. Still 2 leaders in this motherfucking nation. Now we're getting sanctioned, talking about expansion. Why does Julius require a massive fucking mansion? So fuck all your schemes. I don't need your freaky team, and I don't need your help to achieve my fucking dreams.
I can't get the timing on these. Some of these. There we go.
So don't make a fuss when you find you're one of us. Yeah, every single one of you's a bit Jesus. And you can call me crazy, cause no one ever pays me. But I won't waste a lifetime being motherfucking lazy. I may be inventive, my taste may be expensive, but why would I get out of bed with no fucking incentive? Although it's contravention of your obvious intention, I like to eat a little of the fruits in my invention. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. The best of the praise of the crest of the wave, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clement's motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. It's time to stone the country with a motherfucking pitchfork. So this is for the snub ones, the pushed and the shoved ones, the folks to feel the burden of their motherfucking loved ones. Ones who had plenty like a motherfucking Bentley. The ones who now finding that their bank accounts are empty. The ones of aspiration who had to flee a nation. The ones who built a business out of dreams of perspiration. There's all sorts of people, the good and the evil. It only takes a glance to see we're not all equal. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. And the best of the praise, serve the press of the ways. Cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red. Gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head. Cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Get out of your seats, get your asses in the streets. Set a fire in the building, let them feel some fucking heat. Say you hate to go getters, you're spoiling betters, and burn them on the powers of advances fucking letters. Gonna take his facts, gonna stain it red. Gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head. Cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Chase that dream, you don't need a fucking team. And advances little dancers on as hummus as it seems. Cause they're stale and corrupt, then your anger erupt. Then your hearts and your minds and your fists to destruct.
Jesus there with his new song. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio. I'm sorry. I may not agree with you, but I'd just like to offer you an apology. I've just been told that there was some kind of issue upstairs, and an attempt was made to censor some of your lyrics.
Okay, so it's always going to play.
Are you joking?
I'd just like
Yeah,
to
but that was a
say
much
to
better
you
run, though.
and everyone at home that this was a mistake.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe it.
Here at the National Nightly News, we pride ourselves on remaining neutral, unbiased, and independent of any outside interference. You have my word. We will never censor ideas. Back to you, Megan.
Well, a bit of dangerous language there. Sorry about that. Well, thank you.
Yeah, I think that's just going to play, and it's not going to matter. It's going to get through.
Coming up,
because I actually didn't touch any of the blue spots that time.
Faces about their upcoming dramatic outing.
Only the red.
Go away. We'll be right back after this.
That's the ad.
Jenny, this is fucking outrageous.
Thank
Okay, we're good.
so much. If you could just come with me.
No, this is ridiculous. Who do I complain to?
This is just a mix-up, I'm sure. Now, if you come with me, I really do have to ask
Oh,
you to
trust me.
leave.
My father's going to hear about this.
I understand. This is unbelievable, Megan.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jeremy.
Oh, D still? Oh. I thought that was much better.
Fixing that old VCR. Open a new tape. Last ad break.
Ooh, that's a face.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, shut up, stop it.
Look at him.
If we could just get you in position.
Oh, say no more. Say no more.
Oh, here we go.
Jeremy, you remember Mr. Algebra?
Vividly.
Mr. Harris, and this is Ms. Radin.
What?
Philippa, please.
We're back together again, eh? Who'd have thought it?
Perhaps a lower order demon.
Yes, it is awfully exciting, isn't it?
Right, okay then. We're going live in 10 seconds, opening on camera 1.
Thanks, Jenny.
5.
Because you have
4,
to.
3.
Sure. Creepy.
Welcome back, and no, you're not mistaken. Sitting across from us are some very familiar faces.
You really are too kind, Megan. It was only a yogurt commercial, but I'm still proud of it.
Here to talk about his new show, we're joined by National Treasure Tommy Harris, the National Theatre's Philippa Radin, and National Deficit Jeff Algebra.
It's so lovely to have you all. Tommy, would you like to tell us about the show?
You know what? I'd bloody love to. It's about me. It's about my life.
And where did the idea come from?
So, right, picture this. Their legs akimbo, mid-session, sweat is pouring out of me like an immense hog. And then Cindy comes in, she says, Pete's on the phone.
That's Peter Clement, the Prime Minister.
Yeah, Pete's actually a really good mate of mine.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, no, he comes to the training sometimes. He's actually a very good goal sweeper. Anyway, so, yeah, Pete, he says, Toby, he thinks my name's Toby, see? He says, how would you like to spread your
thinks my name's Toby.
team spirit and cooperation across this fractured nation? How would you like to really make a difference in these desperate times?
What did you say?
Yeah, right, yeah.
So, Jeff, the question on everyone's lips is, What in God's name are you doing here?
Well, after the success of my debut work and all the people that I've touched, I knew that I had
He's touched a lot of people.
in theatre. Yeah? I've always been an admirer of Tommy from afar. So when my manager phoned and said that I'd been offered the gig as director, I was ecstatic. I whipped my trousers off and got straight to work.
Why did you do that?
I do all my best work with my trousers off.
Yeah, I've been told that too.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Right, Tommy, sorry, would you just give us a sense of what the show is actually about?
It's about how hard it's been for me and some of the struggles that I've faced. It like really getting to the heart of how tough it is to be me. I call it Tommy Harris. Jesus, that was hard.
Catchy. We actually have some clips of the process of the show. Would you mind telling us what's going on here?
Yeah, so the show is built around two things that are very important to me. It mixes scenes from my life as well as epic fantasy retellings of scenes from my life.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
I'm sorry, son. You're an embarrassment.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
Back, demon! Back to the hells!
Wizard Dad.
Philippa, what's it been like co-starring with Tommy Harris?
I've always dreamed of treading the boards at medium-scale regional theatres, Megan. And for once, this show really gives me something to sink my teeth into.
What's different about this show, then?
Tommy, Mr. Harris's show really lets me show my tremendous range as an actor. I've always suffered from typecasting, forced to play the same tired characters in every god-awful yogurt advert or godforsaken soap opera or, God forbid, a pantomime. But, you know, this
Oh, I can actually show the clip.
Really let me just go there.
Jeff, the viewers at home will be dying to know exactly what is it that you bring to the show?
Good question. I think these guys would agree with me when I say that it's my steady hand on the tiller, my arm round the shoulder approach that's really brought the production from strength to strength.
Absolutely right. Jeff's contributions are immeasurable. He was our rock.
Can you give us a sneak peek of anything else that might be in the show?
Yeah, all sorts, yeah.
We've got lots of exclusive first-hand experiences of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
And some epic fantasy retellings of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
You'll never take the sacred path!
And am I right in saying this was officially commissioned by the government?
Yeah, all paid for by the taxpayer, which, you know, to be honest, was actually a lifesaver, really.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that without Advance's support, we'd have had to cut the finale.
Which frankly would have been a travesty.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ!
What the hell?
You do this every night.
Absolutely. It's a metaphor.
For what?
Death.
And the public are footing the bill, are they?
Too bloody right they are. Between the cost of my tour bus and the dry cleaner and my ties, I'm barely scraping a profit.
Oh my
Amazing.
God.
And where can the folks at home come and see this for themselves?
We're performing all over the nation.
And people can see it for absolutely free, all courtesy of Advance.
That's
Isn't that incredible,
why there's no
Jeremy?
profit.
Yes, it's unbelievable.
Well, thank you all so much for coming. Next time we see you, no doubt you'll have taken our jobs.
That's all we have time for tonight. Join us tomorrow when I'll be interviewing the world's most attractive horse. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolfe. And from all of us here, have a peaceful night.
That's the ads. Let's get reset for tomorrow, please.
Hey, we must stop bumping into each other like this, eh?
Multi-billionaire Sophia Remington. And you wish you could be me.
Oh,
yes.
Recently, I put an idea
Yeah.
to my science guys, and they said so I fired
Segment grade A+. I got A+ on the last segment.
And today, I'm pleased
Oh, Sophia Remington's here to tell us about moobs. Moobs for everyone.
love our foreign vacations, Janet.
Oh my god. What was that you just gave him? It was like a bro fist, I think. It's like, I'm gonna be cool. A plus D, A plus. Hey, I got an A out of it. Ooh, bonus. Uh-huh. Worrying debt went up. Oh, my shares are still up. Advance down, disrupt up. Channel 1. Ooh. A little bit of heartbreak on channel 1. It's awfully nice. Well, how do we change the world? That's what we're gonna find out. Sign of things to come. Shopping. Something that always seemed so tedious before sanctions have become even more of a chore now. You managed to get almost everything you needed for the family this evening, but you'll have to come back tomorrow to get through the week. There's a queue to leave the car park, though it's hard to make out why in the dark. Hopefully whatever's causing it won't be wrong. As the final car in front of you drives off, you realize the queue is actually due to a checkpoint in front of the exit. A friendly-looking man in an advanced uniform, CCO, emblazoned with a number of places on it, approaches your car and knocks on the driver's side window. Good evening. Good evening, nothing to worry about. I was just wondering if I could see your team membership card, please. Aren't these cards supposed to be voluntary? I'm sorry, I don't have one. No, that's not a problem. We've got forms with us right here. We're more than happy to sign you up. The man gestures to his colleague behind him, a young woman in a similar uniform. She clearly received the short end of the stick and is stuck with the paperwork. Well, I suppose I might as well, as you're here. Or, I thought these cards weren't required. Well, strictly speaking, they're not, but there's also loads of benefits to having them, and no reason not to get one. His smile fades a bit, and when he puts a hand up to scratch the back of his neck for a moment, he leans over you, his presence now seeming a little more intimidating. You make a good point, sign me up. Or, no thanks, it's not something I want right now. Oh, no thanks, it's not something I want right now. Almost instantly, the friendly demeanor is gone, and his expression is almost one of stern disapproval. Well, obviously I can't make you sign up, but I strongly recommend you do. And soon. We wouldn't want people to think you had anything to hide, now would we? He takes a step back and gestures for you to drive on. You're sure you see him writing something down in your rearview mirror as you head home somewhat more hurriedly than before. Clearly, Advance are very keen on everyone joining the team. Well, we've been marked by Advance at this point. An invitation worth ignoring? It's Saturday, one of your few days off, and you've made the most of it. But as the late afternoon draws on, the invitation sits pinned to the fridge, staring accusingly at you. The Channel 1 Gala is a mandatory work event. Oh, sorry, it's Bozeman. The Channel 1 Gala is a mandatory work event. Bozeman was very quick to tell you. Also, don't you dare be late. It's probably not wise to risk Bozeman's wrath. Better go, or you already missed your anniversary this year. You're not giving up another Saturday. You could go to Channel 1. Or I can spend time with Sam. I kind of want to see what the Channel 1 Gala looks like. see exactly what goes down between, like, everyone. Best start getting ready. You wonder if Sam will give you a lift. A drink or two might help with the enforced office socializing. Hopefully it won't be too bad. After all, you're pretty good at your job, right? National News Night. Still the same day. Oh. You arrive on time, barely, at the Sauvignon, one of the grandest hotels in the capital. You're surprised to see a queue to get in and quickly realize it's because people are being searched at the door by some very military-looking personnel in smart attire. While you're waiting, you can't help but notice just how very opulent the building is. Quite possibly the fanciest place you've ever been to in your life. You submit to being patted down, and with a sigh of relief, are led into the hotel. Once inside, you're directed to the grand ballroom, and following the signs, you marvel at the sheer scale of the place, and the amount of armed security guards. When you finally arrive, a very severe-looking woman at the door asks your name. I'm Alex Winston. She curtly checks her list before whispering something to the waiter beside her. You've made it just in time to be seated before dinner. Please, follow a manual here to your table. The waiter smiles at you and opens one of the great double doors, gesturing for you to enter. Immediately you can see why it's called the Grand Ballroom. You pause for a second to take it all in. You feel a slight tap on your arm, and Emmanuel gestures for you to follow him. He seats you at a table away from the central floor area, half under a set of stairs. Your view of the stage is, at best, partially blocked. Bozeman's definitely not happy with you at the moment. You're sat with some colleagues you've heard around China One offices before, but have never met. For the most part, they're considered slackers at best and about to be fired at worst. Which category do you fit in? As the evening goes on, you hear Jeremy Donaldson receive an award for outstanding contributions to journalism. You also hear Megan Wolf accepting it on his behalf as he hasn't turned up. Not unusual. But it's hard for you to tell much from your limited view under the stairs. You notice a community cohesion officer hovering near your table. They seem to be as bored to be here as you. A few glasses of no doubt very expensive wine later, you see Bozeman speaking to a few specific tables, joined by what looks like Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement. This is confirmed by an unimpressed nod from the CCO when you ask them, perhaps a little too loudly. Their presence sparks a debate between those at your table about the virtues of both advance and disrupt. You espouse how advance is making the country a better place. You argue in favor of disrupt and their ideals of freedom, or you stay out of politics. You've probably had too much to drink. You know what? I ain't doing it with Peter Clement and Julia Salisbury, one table away and a CCO standing right behind me. I stay out of politics. You end up talking and staying later than you thought you would, despite yourself. Sam isn't pleased when you've kept him outside, waiting for 20 minutes. But it wasn't an entirely terrible evening in the end. You would have still rather have been home, though. Maybe you'll skip the next one. Well, apparently I'm on the shit list. The loading tip guy is off today, so there isn't one. Good job, loading tip guy. Way to be. I think we'll do one more segment. That sounds good. Hopefully we don't get fired. After Bozeman nearly killed me. Since your advances on me. Well, I'm assuming if we towed more of the government line, Bozeman would be happy, but I'm assuming, I don't know. I mean, Jeremy would still probably be pissed. I like Jeremy. Well, boot the board.
Ah, yes, that quick switch. It will flow whenever the valves overheat.
No.
But you can keep them cool with the fan.
Aha.
for no good reason. And you'll have to turn it back on. So keep your eyes on the gauge at the front, and keep your ears open in case you hear the valve sizzling. Don't let the trip switch blow, or you'll have to wait before the power can be restarted, which can have a negative effect on the quality of the news. The jury's still out on you, Alex, so let's try and stay on top of things.
Hey, we're working
Thanks,
on
Bozeman.
it.
What, you've got someone to hose down the sun, have you?
Yes, they've just strapped on their wax wings.
Classical illusions are no substitute for air conditioning.
We
You know, I
have
genuinely thought you'd be in a better mood today. She's not even here.
Yes, but he
Come
is.
to Bubblins,
Oh,
the
gun-toting
RD5
handler.
Wild
Oh,
Box.
Andy.
I don't know what the fuck his
Or
name is,
advanced
do
team
I?
membership
He's here to keep us
cards.
safe from people like Disrupt.
More like keep us in line. Keep guns. Give me the ones.
10 seconds, everybody.
So we've got any actual real news tonight?
Oh, the world's on fire. That good
So
enough
that's
for
where you
you?
hate. It fits
Go
my
in
VCR though.
5,
Brand new
4,
VCR.
3.
Nice. Where's Megan?
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight. Siege mentality. The World Council today established a military blockade to enforce the unjust and punitive sanctions now entering their 10th week. In a statement from team headquarters a short time ago, Prime Minister Julia Salisbury issued a commanding response to this unprovoked escalation.
Ever since these illegal sanctions were imposed, we have gratefully relied upon
I'm
trade
assuming
and
it's
aid
both
from our
the same
worldwide
thing.
friends who,
You don't get a choice.
like us,
That's
refuse to
rude.
recognize their legitimacy. Today's escalation, however, is nothing short of an act of war. We call upon our international allies to condemn this blockade absolutely, and we warn aggressors to this country that we are neither meek nor defenseless. Thank you.
Okay.
Match day. Reformed bad boy Johnny Hamsleeves was seen out in public today for the first time since leaving rehab. The rehabilitated former sports star was photographed returning to public life, looking like a new man this
100%
morning
that.
as he shopped with friends. Ever since his crowd-pleasing appearance on the Whitney Chinmack show, the rumor mill has been wondering if a new relationship might be on the cards. Sources close to Johnny say a romance with ex-teammate Eric Justin would be no surprise and was common knowledge in the locker room. Though judging by the team's recent form, they may be the only ones scoring this season. In it to win it, exciting news from Advance today with the announcement of a new monthly prize draw for all team membership card holders. Every month, lucky winners from across the country will be picked at random to receive what Team HQ
I
are
don't
describing
know
as
what's
unique
happening.
prizes worth more than money used to be. Take-up on the scheme has been much higher than expected, and if this lucky winner's delighted face is anything to go by, it looks like pretty soon everyone's going to have one. Glory Hole? Due to the overwhelming public disapproval of their controversial move,
Glory Hole.
Round Insist announced that excavations are to be discontinued and the unfinished tunnel repurposed. Speaking from her divorce lawyer's parking lot, pitiful CEO Sophia Remington admitted the
That
attempt to
seems
dig
decent.
through the earth was short-sighted and ambitious, and
Let's
unveiled
help
the
the
future of
people.
the abandoned hole. Sophia claims
This
the
might help
low-cost subterranean
Remington,
housing
but-
project will be a triumph for low-income families and promises affordable, attractive accommodation only a few miles below sea level. Spin doctors? The beleaguered brainiacs of Dante's Taint have today
Oh, no.
received a little something to put a smile on their starving faces. With tight funding preventing the supply of anything actually useful, it's hoped this playful
Fortnite
package will
pinata.
raise those enough to at least create some sense of peace
Fortnite
between the
pinata.
warring factions. Opening the crate that contained the emergency pinata, the scientists' reactions ranged from bemused befuddlement to baffled bewilderment. Imagine their delight when they smash it to pieces and find it's full of medical supplies.
Oh.
Let's hope they don't use those sticks on each other. Life during wartime.
It was actually
As if we
medical
didn't have enough
supplies.
aggressors on our borders, internal problems are growing for the government as radical activist group Disrupt caused chaos in Parliament Park last night. Scuffles broke out after the protests, resulting in multiple arrests and the injury of 3 community cohesion officers. Advance have yet to comment. The reckless fire will certainly be remembered by all those who have seen these striking images. As their actions escalate, people across the country are asking themselves, who are Disrupt? And what exactly do they want? Other than a new box of matches, of course. All this, and I'll be talking to some people with fascinating medical conditions.
Oh, no.
As well as one of the contenders in this year's Feline Football Championships, and her proud owner. That's all up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Interference. Oh no, Fan. Why aren't you going? No.
But first tonight, our team of correspondents has been dispatched to every corner of the country to see how the people of this great nation of
Patrick
ours
Bannon,
are coping
Robin
with this
Short.
unprecedented hot weather. First, let's go to Megan Wolf in Shining-on-Sea to see what the scientific community has to say. Megan, how's the weather there?
It's absolutely glorious, Jeremy. Thank you for asking. I'm here with Dr. Anna Burns of the University of Princeton. Are you enjoying the weather as much as I am?
Oh,
Look at Jeremy, he's so
wonderful,
pissed.
Isn't it? My eyelids are sweating.
And you're part of a team carrying out a study into just what's causing this unbelievable heat, is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, we want to be able to reassure the
Console is a
public
high-stress
once
busy
and
box.
for all
Yeah, it
there's
is.
nothing to worry about, and that they can enjoy their sunstroke and fossil fuels in
It's
peace.
getting complex now.
You sound very confident about that.
Oh, very much so. I can say without any hesitation, there's really no cause for any concern here. I've actually left my car running.
So tell us about this experiment.
Well, we take data from weather stations from all over the world, along with atmospheric samples, and we take all that and we feed it into this state-of-the-art computer, and very soon we'll be getting
Jeremy's
a high-tech
drinking?
readout of the results.
Blimey, that sounds very fancy.
I should just say...
He's so pissed.
None of this would be possible without the generous support of Rivington Fist. This is all thanks to their unrivaled investment in our future, and may I just say,
And
complimentary
it blows the fan every once in a while. Cool.
Oh, here we go. And, as expected, everything is absolutely fucked. Hang on. This can't be right.
Right, but obviously you said a second ago that everything is fine, so...
Well, actually, under concern level, it just says, why, God, why?
We should be celebrating these wonderful results, I think.
Yeah? We need to evolve gills within 40 years.
You look thirsty.
Here it just says, shit.
Look at you. This is meant to be a celebration. You can't go around looking like that.
Look at Jeremy.
So much better. Can I just say thank you again to Sophia Remington for providing all of this?
Everyone, we don't have long. Time is running out.
It's running out. Absolutely right. That is all we
Do not
have
fuck
time
with
for.
me.
Abandon hope and return to the forest.
Enjoy that. I'd like to thank Dr. Burns for just one opinion on the climate.
The sea will reclaim us all.
There you have it, Jeremy. Proof, if proof be need be, that everything is just fine. I'm Megan Wolf, here with science. Back to you.
Early cut.
Megan Wolf there, attempting to do some actual news. Next, heads over to Robin Short, who's in Scritchford with some of the winners of this week's team membership lottery. Robin?
Thanks, Jeremy.
Hey, Robin.
I'm here in Scritchford with Gary Failsafe, a janitor at the local school, and Amelia Jackhammer, an aspiring poet. Both of you were drawn at random from those who hold team membership cards to receive this week's amazing prize. How do you feel?
Filled with fervent euphoria.
Yeah, good.
Oh, it's going faster.
And all that we had to do was fill in a quick form or two.
Wow, that sounds so convenient. But we're all dying to know, what have you won?
That's right, Robin. I've won dinner with Julia Salisbury at one of the capital's top restaurants.
Ooh, swanky.
Okay.
And I've been invited to Peter Clement's house to help him dredge the gutter in.
Okay.
That's absolutely terrific. You must both be over the moon.
I've written a poem about it.
Jeremy has his shirt off
Tell
now.
me about the moment when you first heard the news.
Well, I was battling against a particularly difficult floater, probably one of the sixth formers, when the headmaster came and found me.
I was involved in a similarly brutal conflict with a particularly arduous stanza.
So you were both polishing turds?
No, I don't like to polish them. I like to keep them intact for my collection.
Oh. How unexpected.
I don't polish turds. I write poetry.
Potato, potato. So Gary...
Do you think Peter Clement's going to let me keep the contents of his downpipe?
There's no harm in asking,
Nope.
I suppose.
Would you like to hear one?
No, thank
Nope.
you. Gary, when you signed up for team membership, was it in hopes of winning the lottery, or were there other reasons?
I like a flutter, of course, but no, the boss said I had to sign up to keep coming into school.
Very sensible.
Jeremy got more water.
It's important to know who we're trusting around our children.
Oh, I have an unpublished book of sonnets about children. Perhaps you'd like to hear one.
No!
Or an anthology of haikus on the death of innocence.
I'd rather hear about Gary's turd collection.
Yeah.
I thought you might say that.
I totally want to hear about Gary's church collection.
Are you alright?
Yes, it's coming.
Briefly missed.
It's inspiration and it's delicious.
Damn.
Right you are.
Today on the show there's no news. Just a man who keeps multiple poos.
Yeah. This big one's my favourite. See how it's fibrous, really lovely texture.
Would you encourage other people to enter for their chance to win?
Well, if it's colour you're looking for, take a gander at all blue eyes here.
The national news lost its way when it covered some crap on a tray.
Some of these are quite rare.
Maybe that was unfair.
And that's all we have time for today. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Robin. What a lucky pair they are. And finally in this segment, it's over to Patrick Bannon, who's gone to the smelliest town in the country to see how the unprecedented weather is affecting the locals. Patrick?
Hello there, Jeremy. Hello, yes. I'm here live in Grizzleford, which has recently voted the smelliest town in the country. And I have to say that, you know, in this, the smell really is. I mean, it's something else. Barry Lardons, mate, you've lived here your whole life. How'd you put up with the stink?
Well, we're just all very proud of our achievement, to be honest with you. You can tell that, look at him, proud as punk. Do you know what it's like, son, being the second smelliest town? No, I don't. Living in the shadow of Arseminster.
Arseminster.
Fucks. But who's laughing now, eh?
What, not me, that's for sure. So what happened, mate?
Right, the good people from Remington's Fist came in and saved the day with their factory.
You're talking, of course, about the newly built Flage factory.
Yeah, they gave us this big presentation on jobs and growth. But as soon as we heard about the stench, we paid them whatever they wanted to put it here.
Does the stink not affect your life in every way, Barry? I mean, perhaps if you're filling in a tax return or completing the physical act of love.
It's strong at first, but you get used to it after several weeks of your first bout of sickness. The judges were very impressed.
So, what's the sickness?
Oh, that's nothing to worry about. It takes a few minutes before you develop any symptoms.
Putting makeup on Jeremy because he's sweating like a hog.
Were saying something about the production line and how they dump carcasses directly into the water main, but I think it's probably the few valves on the high street.
On the high street? Should I see a doctor? What are the symptoms?
Well, the first one is asking stupid questions. Then folk experience a lot of inhibition.
Fuck off, do they? When was the last time you brushed your teeth, you stinking old tramp?
Next recording is a period of randomly bursting into song, followed immediately by delusions of grandeur.
I can't really problem they were sung them alive.
Not good.
Hello, it's sexy Patrick Bannon, and he's wearing sexy shorts now.
Huh?
Oh my God, look at me. I'm like a stallion. I'm gorgeous. Why didn't you tell me? I should take my shirt off. You know what? I'll even let you touch me if you want.
Nope.
That'll be the bout of undeserved self-confidence.
Love the Bannon. Feel the Bannon. Oh, man. What's the...
And the ennui. All that's left now are the hallucinations and unconsciousness.
Nana Dottie? Is that you? Why are you made out of elbows? You know I don't eat opinions.
Well, Patrick's dead.
Don't worry, folks. Once he wakes up, he'll be just fine. We'll just find a place to stick him where it won't matter how many times he evacuates his bowels. Right. Here from Grizzleford, a town that's really making a stink.
No. Fuck.
You need to stand back.
When we come back, I'll be talking to 3 members of the general public who appear to be here purely for medical reasons. Don't go away. Unless, of course, you've got something better to do. We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back. Well, that was stupid, even for you.
I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done. It's 200 fucking degrees in here, and I can't do this anymore.
That's
Every Friday.
I've done something.
What do you mean? Jeremy.
It's fine.
My mic is still.
Whoa, what do you say? Do you say he did something?
You can expect the government to request some censoring during the next section. Obviously, we can't force you to do it, but it would make me and the powers that be very happy if you just comply.
That's what
Bozeman wins this one,
Cats
but the
football?
disruptor
We
gets
should be
played at
doing
the
an
end.
interview with the War Minister, or a report from Grantham Downs. Even the weather would be more fucking relevant than this.
Jeremy, please, just breathe. It's just something light to keep people's minds off things.
Exactly, which is wrong. People's minds should be very much on things. Christ, it's so fucking hot.
Please take your seats as quickly as you can.
I can't do this anymore, Jenny. I've had enough. That's it. This is just
10
getting
seconds. Get over yourself, Jeremy. Why don't you stop feeling sorry
Yeah.
for yourself for 5, 5, 4,
Shit.
3.
Everyone's breaking down.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News with me, your host, Jeremy Donaldson. Later, we'll be talking to the captain of the Territory's first cat football team, Professor Pumpkin. But first, I'm joined by 3 guests with some balmy bodily behaviours. Joining me is a woman who's been hiccuping for over 9 months. Isn't that right, Miss Piercy?
Yes, that's right.
Yes. Tell us, what brought all this on?
Well, it's all a bit of a blur, Jeremy, to be totally frank with you. So I was watching your show and I remember seeing the news about the election, and it hasn't stopped since.
Fascinating stuff. Also here is Frankie Steampipe. Perhaps you could explain to us exactly what your physiological foreboil is.
I'm here to say it's high time people like me were respected. We're constantly overlooked in the workplace, we're whispered about on buses, and we're asked politely to leave children's birthday parties. And it's disgusting. I'm sorry, my bowels have comic timing.
And finally, I'm joined by a man who answers every question honestly, even when it isn't aimed at him.
My bowels have
How do you cope
comic
with that, Mr.
timing.
Truman?
With a combination of booze, self-hatred, and hardcore pornography.
Is that
Not according to my therapist.
Well, in that case, let's speak to Rose. Tell me, how does the hiccuping impact you?
I get shushed a lot, which is hard. At work, they've asked me to stop answering the phones. It's really affecting my confidence.
Well, I find it really fucking irritating.
People tend to believe your story?
Fuck no.
Actually, I've been surprised at how much support I've received.
And Frankie, why have you come here today?
Because my wife left me, and I was hoping that the fame would win her back.
We've started a group for people with ailments deemed broadly comical by society. It's called Take Us Seriously.
That's right. And we bloody well mean it.
And who's joined so far?
A bunch of fucking losers.
It's just us so far.
And how much success have you had?
Well, we've seen some real positive changes.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but it's been a runaway success.
He tooted his own
Not a
horn.
single person come to our fun run, and all of our leaflets fell in the canal.
Well, Miss Piercy, some people are saying your condition was actually caused by the shocking events of that night. What do you think?
Come down, Mr. Donaldson, that's absolute rubbish.
What it'd be like to have a pair of tits.
Could you? I'm sorry, it's very hot. What was I thinking?
That you're a team fuck puppet?
No.
Or a sellout cunt?
Apologies. Just a reminder that he can't help it. And hey, if this isn't live television, then what is it?
Fuckfest of propaganda masquerading as journalism.
Right, Frankie, Rose, tell us, how can the viewers get involved with your cause?
Yes, we're holding a sponsored run in Capitol Park next weekend.
People keep coming in
It's
with
called
the shots.
No Smiles, 13 miles.
No, it's called the No Laugh Half. What did I say before the show?
That it was the team pulling Jeremy Donaldson's strings.
No, I didn't say.
Wow, we
say
may
that.
have to end that there. What a harmless bit of fun.
Steady on!
This is exactly what I'm talking about. We demand respect.
Yes, well, later, I'll be talking to Professor Pumpkin, a ginger tabby with a world-class pair of penalty paws. Is that really necessary?
No, it isn't. Let go. Not you.
Unhand him at once!
Enough! That's enough!
Crap.
Enough!
What are you doing?
Trying not to piss myself.
Alex, cut.
Don't you dare! Don't you fucking dare cut to the ads before I tell you to. Now, you in the broadcast centre, both Israel's Cape Crew, you listen to me. You cut to the ads before I tell you to, and I will kill every single person in this studio. I am thinking about what I'm doing. I've been thinking about it for a long time. We all should be. Christ, it's so fucking hot in here. Do you remember?
Sorry, Jeremy, I have to at least censor fuck.
Before it was all lottery winners and bloody cat football. We are on the brink of a siege, the likes of which the world hasn't seen in hundreds of years. The enemy is at the gates, and I'm stuck here talking to these three fucking idiots.
I think my hiccups have stopped.
You three, get the fuck out of my studio. Go on, now, go, before I change my mind. Jenny, lock the doors. Lock the doors.
Yes, Jeremy.
Now. Good. Yes. Now. Good. Right. You
Well,
in the broadcast centre.
Disrupt ad right after.
You listen to me. You pay attention. Now, I'm sure you've already loaded up exactly what you're going to play in the commercial, but today is going to be a little bit different. Look to your right.
Already did.
Yes, really. Look to your right. There is a VHS tape, and I want you to load it into one of the machines. And when I say so, and not before, you play it. You've got about 15 seconds, so I wouldn't waste any time. Now, all cameras.
All upstairs appreciate there may be lives at stake. They want you to know the official policy of this channel is that we do not negotiate with terrorists. Just think before you act.
It's either one-sided, or for now, we're going to show the other side for a bit of fucking balance. Like the good old days. Alex, play the fucking tape. I don't want to hurt any of you. If I see anything I don't like, I will not hesitate to start.
Oh, Alex, you're going to get me in trouble with that. Let's hope you made the
Reset
right
the
call.
system for the third segment. I imagine the ratings are going to be through the roof.
A+ segment. Yep. Already popped that tape in. I stan Jeremy Donaldson. I stan Jeremy Donaldson. Damn, I'm off the charts. Gen 1, baby. Gen 1 for life.
My name is Alan James.
Alan James?
I used to try and shock people for a living, for entertainment. But now we live in a time where perhaps you need to be shocked. Perhaps we need to wake up. Advance are coming for our freedoms. They are coming for the fruits of our labors. They will take our wealth. They will euthanize our parents and smiling throughout. They will turn our children against us if we voice our concerns.
How long?
Jeremy, please.
How long?
17 seconds.
And the studio doors are all still locked?
Find us.
Yes.
Talk with us. Join us.
So what now?
It isn't hard.
I don't know. This wasn't what I planned. I mean, some of it was. I had a speech, look. But this was unexpected.
So what now, Jeremy?
It was supposed to be your day off. It was supposed to be your day off.
Please, don't do any more stupid things today.
How long? How long, Jenny? How
We're already live.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Welcome back to the Joining me, unexpectedly, for I very much imagine will be my last broadcast, are two new guests. Jenny works here at the National Nightly News and is someone I consider, well, a friend. And next to her is, what's your name?
Andy.
Andy's a policeman. Only we don't call him that anymore. He's a community cohesion
10-minute
officer.
segment.
Officer.
Sorry?
It's community cohesion officer, CCO.
And how's that for you, Andy? Being rebranded?
It's It's good. It's not about confrontation anymore. You know, the Force had its fair share of problems. The team doesn't have as many.
But it still has some.
I couldn't say.
Couldn't or wouldn't?
I don't know what you want me to say.
Christ, you're fucking useless, aren't you? We'll come back to you later. Jenny?
Don't want to be on the news, Jeremy.
That's perfectly understandable. Who'd want to do this? Jenny, why did you join the National Nightly News team?
I always wanted to work in news.
Yes, but why specifically this program? The National Nightly News.
It was the news everyone trusted.
Was?
Is. Do you really want to quibble semantics at gunpoint?
Is there something else you'd rather discuss?
There's a great big Alan James-sized elephant in the room you seem to be ignoring.
What do you mean?
I saw your face when that bid came down. You didn't know, did you?
It's about the message, not the messenger.
Like I said, you didn't know.
No, I didn't know. The people I met were with. He wasn't there. I didn't know it was Alan James.
I'm sorry. But seriously. Alan fucking James. You're flushing your life down the toilet for. God, I love you, Jeremy, but.
He's a good speaker. He's popular in the country.
Even Jeremy's like, oh.
Not right.
Look, forget Alan James. There is still something deeply wrong. And you know it, Jenny. And you know it, Andy. And you at home, you know it too. Meanwhile, I'm interviewing a guest who stinks of shit. Patrick is paddling about in shit. And Robin is literally interviewing someone who collects the fucking stuff. I mean, it's not sophisticated, but what a metaphor. We are sleepwalking our way into oppression, and the news isn't saying anything. We're not saying anything.
Says who? Alan fucking James.
What are all those scientists working on at Grentham Downs? What are they testing underground at Altergrave? Andy, your turn. Make yourself fucking useful. How many people have you brought in for consultations just because they weren't carrying or didn't have team membership cards?
Oh, well, there's other forms of identification that we will accept.
For how long?
We're just here to help.
Then why do you need these? Not really help when it's offered at gunpoint, is it, Andy? Let me demonstrate it for you. Let me help you. You read these cards with my notes on it, and you'll probably digest a fact. That'd be helpful, wouldn't it, Andy? Knowing a fact?
What? I don't understand.
Do you want my help, Andy?
Yes, whatever you say, yes.
Security are here, Jeremy.
Eat it.
What?
Eat the fucking news, Andy, or I'll force it down your fucking throat.
Jeremy, stop.
Go on.
Really?
Eat it. Eat it, you fucking bully.
Jeremy, stop. We will kill you. Please, don't make me watch that.
God damn.
Of course. You're right. Sorry. Sorry, everyone. You can put the card down now, Andy. You can go now. You too, Jenny. Fuck off over there. Then Andy done.
Oh my god.
All cameras on me. This new regime of ours is so seductive. I understand that. But before we all hand off our freedoms, should we ask to whom we're handing them over? Don't you want to know what's being done in your name? How many people were transitioned last month? A record high. Again, if you care. Shouldn't someone ask Advance how they plan to deal with this blockade? How many years or months of supplies we have? Why aren't we asking these questions instead of whose shit is this? There's a cat backstage dressed as a fucking goalie, for Christ's sake. He's even got the little gloves. Anyway, that's why I arranged for you to see that broadcast from the last break. I didn't know it was going to be him. But I guess that just about sums it up. We are all up Ship Creek with a paddle made of Alan fucking James. Christ, it's also fucking pointless.
Great, our savior is Alan fucking James.
Take a holiday. Try something else. Out of the limelight. Maybe try having a relationship. I hear they're nice. Never tried. I loved them.
Oh no.
And now, well...
God, Jeremy, don't!
I've tried my best to be honest with you, but this just isn't the mood anymore. And I'm sorry. I've lost this fight.
Alex, think of the consequences.
I've let you down.
Please, we can't show this. Cut to the ads.
My name's Jamie
Now!
Donaldson.
Do it now!
If you can. Somehow.
I can't watch that. Ooh, E. Yeah, I really can't watch that. Interesting. Huh. Well, I'm glad I got paid for it. Not quite breaking even. Channel 1 doesn't look so good. Well, that was sobering. Well, on that note,
Good evening, I'm Megan Wolf.
I guess I'm Master Ebenwing, and this has been another broadcast of National Nightly News.
Every single one of you's a bit Jesus.
Ooh, that got heavy real quick. Well, welcome to the New World Order, I guess. Being headed up by Alan fucking James. I do want to do an advanced run of this at some point. I think I might, like, because I'm really enjoying this, I might actually do 2 runs with this. I might keep it going as a weekly game, and then do an advanced run, just to see the differences between the 2 paths. Which would be really cool, I think, to see that. I know there's a lot of different content in the game. I know it shows a lot of different stuff, but really, really neat. But until next time, signing off here from good old England, controlled by the advanced government, I'm Master Ebenwing.
We're still vassal slaves.
Good night.
We're just in prettier cages.
And I guess good luck.
Oh, Megan. We're only getting started.
Good evening, I'm Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy.